we started out in the camp. We made it back to the camp, and was the fly thing the prior session? Okay, so we started the session off trying to figure out why all of a sudden everybody's getting sick. Pretty obvious the water supply got tainted. We met this freak, the zealot, who's somehow got a giant stone strapped to his back that we can't figure out how he moves, and he's poor, like ridiculously, grossly poor. Anyways, he walked over, slid his wrists in the water, and cleans the water. I don't. For my physicians, that's not how that works. But there was no leeches involved. He didn't put any horse shit in the water, so I don't know how that works. But then we decided to gather supplies and leave to go to the dwarven fort that we have a reason to be there. I'm not sure because my guy doesn't pay attention to these things. He doesn't care. He hates life because his dog died. And now fuck all of you. He wants to kill all of you.
And now you've reached the point where we started the game session.
I'm getting there. Then we got all of our supplies and we trekked out of the camp to what I thought was one day, but apparently after discussion later was a week. Ran into a snowstorm. Tried to take cover and that didn't work. And so we eventually just powered through and found a leeway kind of type thing. What are they fucking called?
Shelter.
No, sure, but what is it on it? When you have a...
You got me, man, because I know what you're talking about, but I'm drawing a blank too.
Yeah.
I would say
a lee.
A lee, just a lee. Yeah. I was halfway. Well, I was 200% of the way there. So, but yeah, we took shelter there, and then
who's there would be on.
We moved on, and we didn't make it much further than that, did we? There wasn't much after that.
There was a lot after that.
Want me to tell you?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Holy cow, really?
Yeah.
Like a whole week's worth.
Dad, you were staring into the bottom of your beer.
That's true. That's true.
I was surprised you didn't just go, well, the alcohol was tasty.
Okay, yeah, no. Somebody else take over, because I don't remember anything beyond that point.
Tag in Andy.
Well, as we were wandering through the snow and whatnot, we finally found a nice safe space to put tents without any snow serpents or whatnot biting at us.
I forgot about the snow serpents, yeah.
In the middle of the night, there was a large glowing figure standing on the edge of the thing, which turned around and rushed towards Matt and made him pee his pants.
Did not.
Did. The yellow snow says different. I mean, I hid in my sleeping bag, so that's okay.
Was they a little bit brown?
I thought they were naturally bound.
I wore my brown pants. So as we survived that night with, I don't think, too much corruption, and as we crested a few more hills over the next few days, we came upon the Carrick. It's a giant carrot.
We came across the carrot.
The carrot.
And it wasn't days. It was like not long after.
Wasn't the next day.
Apparition.
We used him on a fishing rod to avoid
crossovers.
Crossing over broken bridges.
Yeah, there was that. Yeah, there was a bunch of Skaven.
Carrot Slim.
There was a bunch of Skaven at the fort. Yeah.
Yes. So
Escorting in
a human prisoner, right?
No.
Human and dwarven and Skaven prisoners were being pushed in, but that wasn't even the scariest part. There's some kind of giant light beam cannon, green stone
that they wielded.
No, sitting on the top of this giant
mountain.
Yeah, it's like 40 feet. I think you said
it's like 40 feet long and 15 feet around and big, massive.
I want to hide something from Thad. We do it near the end of the session because he's quite sad.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for the 10 experience, Sean.
We use the.
I'm gonna give 15 points to Andy and 10 to the halfling.
And we use the fancy spyglass.
That's a little embarrassing.
To also see that there may be a couple different entrances. There's the mainline entrance, but then you're working past looks like two separate legions of Skaven.
Clans.
Well, yeah, clans. One's got a gray beard and abacus, and he's counting all the slaves, and the other ones are green or something like that. He's got a big old giant long coat. Yeah. And
Skeleton.
Yep. And the It looks like there's probably some kind of output for the forges that would have been in there. It might be a way, but the safest way we've spied out so far looks like the sewers. Our favorite place to go.
I'm just going to point out
Sewer
the safest way into the Skaven stronghold is through the sewers.
Yes.
Where the rats are at. Yeah.
So the good news is again you're inspiring alterations to the rules. Because if you forget half of it, I'm going to split it amongst the next person.
New rules. Yes.
You're a pioneer.
You're a pioneer. You're a trailblazer. Where did we spend experience, George?
I spent it in stealth and sleight of hand.
Okay. Matt?
Initiative and perception.
Okay. Ben?
Initiative, perception, athletics.
That's a lot. You got that many points?
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, I was saving to change the fencer, but then I opted not to, so
Okay.
I spent all that.
Okay. Andy?
I'm gonna hold on for 1 week so I can get 1 session for resistance disease.
Okay. Talent?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. Since I went from physician to back to rat catcher, and I already had level 1 complete of rat catcher, I meet all the criteria for level 1 rat catcher. Do I automatically go into level 2?
You still have to spend the experience to advance again.
Okay.
That's the penalty of switching back and forth between classes.
Okay, then.
But
I'll
I'm
save
fine
it.
with you already having the achievements or requirements, etc.
Okay,
Just
yeah.
do it level 2.
Okay, then I have to save it for 1 more session to
Okay.
buy up to level 2.
Yeah, you still have to pay the transition cost each time, which is the game's way of discouraging you from class
hopping,
flopping
yeah, from
back
hopping.
and forth.
I meant to ask it last week and I forgot.
Everything.
Your points
except
into willpower, raising my maximum HP to 30.
Okay. Which you'll need because you don't have any armor. Okay.
Yeah. We don't
So-
talk about that.
Yeah, you guys are approximately you're estimating maybe an hour's hike or so from the mountain within which Carrickskig is built. You can see a couple of entrances, one being the main gates, decorated to look like a massive stone dwarf soldier, split down the middle as far as the gates, with 2 statues of Grugni to either side. In front, there is a group of slaves being led in by Skaven, being counted off by the old wise Skaven, or the gray Skaven. Okay. The other areas of entrance that you've spotted thus far, at least, is on the left side of the mountain. Further around, there looks to be a sewage and exit. Some sort of drippings or whatever coming out of the mountains, fairly high up on the cliffside, but a possible alternative way to get in. Okay. It is later in the day. The other thing of note is for the last few days, or few nights more specifically, the greenish glow has been starting to return, indicating that more sleep is probably going to be rising soon, if not already out there.
More sleep? Yes.
Yes. It's been down to more and more sleeps. So, what would you guys care to do? You're currently up on the mountain path.
Did you want the magic sword back?
Sure.
Did we ever
So I
determine
still
if
have the
there
dice.
were forged
Yeah, still.
vents?
Yeah, still.
None that you guys can determine.
Okay. Then I guess we have to go to the sewers, guys, if we're going to go in that way.
Yep.
Anybody have any suggestions otherwise? George?
I don't have suggestions. I mean, a lot of the groupers say that they should just like break the front gate open.
Some were
That was
saying
the other debate, but I have no interest in doing that.
some were saying that we should put him in front of the gate to make it not
Because
open.
nobody can move that stone. Just drop his stone right there.
Oh, is it like Thor's hammer? Just put it on
That'd
somebody's
be
chest so
amazing.
they don't go anywhere.
Yeah, but
I
that
cannot
that begs
do
the
this.
question: would the elevator
Well, I
go
didn't say
up
you had to
or
leave it,
would
but it needs to be
stand?
off your back because they can move you. They just can't move the stone.
Like if
Until they
Jarvis
find that one Sigmarite
Like, if
Skaven
Jarvis
that's a true believer.
will the elevator go up,
he walks
would
in,
it
what's
still
going
go
on
up?
with this? Crown the king of the Skaven.
At that point, just go.
Or they just have a prisoner that's a Sigmarite.
And
Either way,
They just say move this.
to the sewers again.
All right, yeah, let's go to the sewers.
Everybody can climb and all that good stuff, so we can get up there. Is that-
I actually have a character that can climb now.
I do not. I'm not.
you and I in our armor, we can just climb great, can't we?
Fine. I got power.
Never
strength.
mind. I have 30.
It's a strength-based skill.
It's a strength-based skill that I don't have to
That's a one. That's a one-handed. Just
Sure it is.
because if you don't have any points in it, it's automatically down, right?
No, it's only 4.
Oh, okay.
Oh, great.
Hit skills.
Good.
the
Good luck.
Where's that coming from? Fort?
Top of the mountain.
Good luck.
The top of the mountain, not from the fort.
Top of the
Like
mountain.
where the big.
Where the fort is.
Oh, where the fort is. Okay.
Let's head that way. They're
And-
calling us to them.
Yeah. Start climbing
I
up.
want to
towards
see
the
what that
center.
bell is. Yeah.
Okay.
Head that way.
Does it look like they are now like it's an alarm bell and they're all coming out this way, or are
No.
they still doing what they were doing?
You hear it in the distance. It echoes across the mountain and into the valley, and to you, even at this distance, you can hear it. There's no sign of where the bell is, but if you remember the description, the top portion of the mountain had been ripped open, for lack of a better description, which is where this cannon sticks out of. It seemed to be coming from up there.
Okay.
Somewhere up on that top peak of the mountain. Looking at the Skaven, as soon as the bell starts ringing, they all seem to quicken their pace and get more focused on whatever tasks they're working on. But it's not like they're responding to an alarm. It's not like they suddenly march out and head up the mountain faster you guys. Okay.
Let's keep going.
It continues for 30 or 40 seconds or so, and then fades away as you guys start working your way down the path.
Is it?
Can I use?
Dwarven fortresses normally have bells?
I always heard they had horns.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Can I use supernumerate to try to count how many times the bell tolls?
I don't know. Did you count how many times the bell tolled?
I did. It tolled 14 times.
Sounds good.
His supernumerate actually allows him to automatically do that.
Okay.
You
I'm
can
fine with
automatically count like, oh yeah, there was this many prisoners, there was this many guards.
So your guy's autistic?
Yes.
That's, he's Rain Man.
Cuts himself.
that. Okay. So
And
13
counts.
times is how many times it rang.
Okay. The bell rang 13 times.
What's the name of the Karak again?
Carrick Skig. Skyggge.
So carrot skin was not quite right.
Close enough.
It was close.
Yeah, it's close as I've been with a name.
I mean, closer than beer fat.
Right.
I still like that, though.
Can I make a lore theology check
I'm
to
gonna
see if
borrow
that
that
number has
during
any religious
D&D.
connotations?
Dude, it does. It's 13. You don't need to be a genius to know that 13's a bad number.
Well, yes, but I want to know if it actually has any
Frightening.
religious connotations and more.
That's our
I'm,
show.
I'm still going.
Okay. Well,
Yes,
I mean,
please
you guys are just
try
walking
it
down
out.
the path. Go ahead.
Dude with
give me
the
a roll.
hockey mask walks
Okay.
out.
Ha!
Nice.
Good job.
Nope. No significance you're aware of.
Cool.
Okay.
So I'm still going.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay. Each of you give me a perception check.
Oh,
I'm actually good at this because I spell off with
I don't have the.
perception.
I had the. Whatever.
Is this in low light?
I keep wanting to say periscope, the spyglass, but I don't know whose it was, so I want to make sure I give it
I
back.
think
to him.
I think we gave it back to
Yeah,
the
is it hearing?
Still
Yeah,
working?
that works.
Probably. It's not around the
Would spell work?
5 success.
That
I
would
do.
work.
Dead.
I have enhanced smell, but I rolled so terrible. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Jarman is apparently alert and paying attention now. You can.
You hear the dragon
Okay.
flying
Roll it
overhead.
down.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, let me shift that
Jarman shits himself.
as the dragon attacks.
what
Okay,
what type is it?
the dragon.
Death.
Yeah, fire.
Who? Red?
No, just fire.
It's made of fire.
Only D&D has the colors matching the breath.
Hmm.
Rest of the games,
How about silver?
A dragon's a dragon.
a dragon is a dragon. They're scary. You're dead.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys head down the path. About 15 minutes later or so, you guys get down off the main trail, up on the cliffs and everything. You're more in more normal valleys. Up ahead, Matt, you hear chittering and squeaking of Skaven.
Okay.
They seem to be yelling and angry about something as far as their tone, and you can hear the crack of whips.
Am I on point, or was it you again?
You were.
Okay.
Yeah, I was right behind you because you had your shield out.
And I presumably would be up.
I spin around, Skaven moving slaves ahead of us. Ambush. Yeah, and I said, spread the word back.
Yeah. There's a bush.
I am
Fabulous.
I just
Correct. Anything two-handed, you got to carry.
He starts bypassing me altogether.
I'm like, damn it!
He
Whoever's
said there's
behind
a-
him, I should. Hey,
Ambush, I go. There's a bush.
sounds like they're scaving up
There's a
ahead.
bush. All right.
Sounds like they're scaving up ahead, moving some more prisoners.
Now we're letting that.
I can't hear you with this thing.
Draw a sword and start moving forward as
I've been trying to
cautiously
work on
as
my
I
sound
can.
effects.
Okay.
Oh, and put my coif up.
Yeah, you move quietly up to the bend. Look around. You see a group of half a dozen Skaven dressed in armor, wielding halberds, leading a group of maybe 20 or 30 rag-covered humanoids. Quite a few of them appear to be Skaven. Some of them appear to be old and hungry people, humans and so forth. All of them are shackled together with short lengths of chain. They all appear to be heavily beaten and injured and malnourished from lack of food.
Beastman. There's a bit on the ground.
Where's your beast
Like,
been at?
so, are they like in a circle?
They're rats.
No,
Or-
they're,
Oh, okay.
they're,
What are they doing?
they're past
If you
you,
don't know what
heading
Skaven
up heading up the trail. There's a couple of Skaven in the back, a couple of Skaven roughly in the middle of the crowd, and then two at the lead, leading the slave caravan or train, double file down the length.
Towards
all-
the gate?
Yeah, they're heading in the direction of the mountain. The slaves are shackled between a long chain that runs the length of them, and each one shackled
We can't
with
help him.
like a foot of chain on either side.
We want
Okay.
to toss him. Toss these guys right off. No, we can't help him. Just let
I
him
put
go.
my sword back away. Yeah, I
Okay,
said,
I'm gonna stay concealed and let them go.
yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch to see where they enter and see how things react. See if they avoid certain parts of the trail.
Not specifically. I mean, you can follow them at a distance towards the place. I mean, you're generally heading the same direction.
Okay. I just want to make sure that if there's any traps, that I see them purposefully avoiding certain things, then I want to know that.
Are there any dwarves captured?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I probably should have asked that as well.
I don't care.
I was mainly talking about we can at least get information if there was dwarves for an alternative entrance other than
Sure.
the sewers.
The dwarves must be saved.
Well, he did say, Dungar or whatever his name was, did say this place had been abandoned for hundreds of years. So,
Yeah.
like any living...
800 years. Yeah.
Oh, 800 years?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said hundreds of
Yeah,
years.
I mean, it's a very old outpost. The mythology is that the dwarves formed all the Carracks thousands of years ago, and a number of them were abandoned because they were either untenable or they were taken over by goblins or whatever. This place, they abandoned it and sealed it, saying the place was cursed.
Gotcha.
That's what the story was.
Fairly accurate.
Yeah. Okay. You follow the train down the path. Very rapidly, the terrain becomes much more Badlands style
Hey,
As
what
far
are
as-
these two?
as far as descriptions. You find bits of dead plants, poorly tended trails, things like that, where basically the rats haven't been caring for the area whatsoever. Very unlike dwarves. Here and there you spot iconography and architecture that was dwarven that have now been smashed or just broken due to age and mistreatment. A couple of places you start spotting pickets and crosses where there's skeletons hanging from it, and just sort of decorating the place, giving you a general foreboding of the place. The smell of Skaven musk is strong everywhere in this place. They've obviously been here for quite some time and have really taken over pretty much the entire place. You also spot here and there, just out of the corner of your eye, little glints of green every so often in the ground or on the hill or whatever. Okay. Nothing significant, and I mean, if you stop to investigate, it's maybe a pinprick or whatever, but in the fading light of the night, it's notable as you're going along. Okay. The rats travel fairly quickly, much faster than many of the slaves seem to be capable of doing. Several times, one or two of them will stumble, met almost immediately by a crack of a whip, or in some cases a stab from one of the halberds, as the rest of the slaves drag whoever it is back to their feet or just along the ground towards the place. The slaves seem barely capable of standing, let alone marching at the speed they're going. They get all the way to the area in front of the castle entrance, or the Carrick entrance. You guys hang back, presumably since you're trying to be stealthy here. You see them approach the center. A couple of rats open the main gates as they approach, and then the guy with the nail starts ticking off the abacus, counting the new slaves as they get entered into the place. They march into the place, close the gates, and there's the gray guy and maybe a dozen or so other armed skaven right around the gateway.
When we ran into them, did they come from, obviously had to come from a separate trail, but where did it seem like that trail was coming from?
Down from the mountain somewhere.
Just so you're aware, Ben.
I'm aware. When you was describing it, I realized it was
Did
different.
it feel like it was going to dump off north of the mountain range, or where we came from, more south?
No, you guys were coming down the cliff side trail, and this area seems to be a maze of little valleys and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They happen to be cutting across your path, where you're naturally all going downhill towards the base of the mountain.
Okay.
Yay!
I thought the sewer entrance kind of
Off to the left. Yeah.
but more vertical.
It is vertical. Yeah, from where you guys are at now, visibly looking out over the clearing in front of the gates, it is off to your left, maybe 50 to 75 yards up on the cliffside.
You've got a grappling hook, right?
Is it? It's not a sheer
About
like
50 to
rock
75
cliff. Right?
It's pretty cliff-like, yes.
Good.
Do you need carrying?
Sorry, I only have 20
I'll
yards.
stab you.
Okay. So you guys want to do anything here at the gates, or you want to work your way over around the side?
Yeah, try to stay concealed and work ourselves around the side.
Okay.
I mean, it could have been that one of the human slaves, or what could have helped us, but it would hinder. We would have had to just put him out of the misery.
Give me another round of perception checks.
If we're stopping to look,
Hey,
is this
there we
like
go.
stopping to look around or just something that was going to happen? Like if we're looking for something that might happen randomly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, unless you guys specifically say I'm going to stop and investigate something.
Okay.
I'm just covering the fact that you're
So
going to the next spot.
I'm going to keep my. I'm not going to remove the
Hearing.
coif. Right.
Or not.
and
Yeah,
stuff like
hearing,
that.
smell, any of those.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
not one.
well.
And an 8.
Okay. Well,
I'm good with that.
even with my
A not one? Yeah, you're good. Okay.
with my helmet on.
So apparently all of you are very alert right now, well rested and so forth. As you guys approach, and it's been maybe another hour or two. The sun has gone down at this point, and a green haze has come out over the valley. And in the distance, just coming up over the horizon, you see the edges of more sleep starting to come up. Okay, it's very definitely rising this night. About halfway there, or 3/4 of the way there, you hear the chimes going again. The bells, obviously a little bit louder now that you're a bit closer to the mountain.
I can't hear 'em.
We gotta stop and listen.
Well, it's like good.
I was trying to check. Whatever. Never mind.
Okay. You also spot a few more patrols on the way. This area seems to be. I lost count myself.
9.
It chimes 12 times this time.
Okay.
Okay, specifically. And then fades away.
How much time had passed between the last one and this one?
45 minutes.
Oh, that's okay.
And from what you can tell, given a supernumerate, it doesn't seem to be time based. It's not at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. It's roughly 45 minutes between the two.
Okay.
Okay. There's a couple of other patrols that you, given your perception, easily avoid unless you wish to engage them. For the most part, they seem to be armed bands of Skaven. One or two has some slaves that they're bringing, both up the valley crossing your path, etc. In each case, you're easily able to avoid them, given that you guys are all fairly alert at this point.
Are they all generally halberd armed and armored?
Yeah, the majority of them, the ones that are the guards, have halberds and armor.
Okay.
The other ones are covered in rags and cloaks and are otherwise dirty, badly fed, and badly injured, and heavily chained up.
Where's the gun
Yeah.
facing?
That's what I was thinking.
Where's the
I was
what?
like, Shit.
The gun at the top of the Karak.
Into the sky.
I've come to realize it's one of the most broken damn weapons.
Like,
Roughly
It's spear,
southwest.
it's an axe.
as in,
Really good weapon.
how
Spirit.
verticality wise?
It also gives you a defensive bonus.
Is it facing, like,
Does it?
beyond the
the spear,
up?
yeah, just
No,
it's
it's maybe a, you estimate maybe a 30 to 45 degree angle.
Going for distance.
Yeah.
So when looking at the
He's going for
warrior
speed.
side of things in the groups, the patrols, it's only Skaven. We're not seeing any humans.
Yes,
or anything
all of the
like
guards
that.
appear to be Skaven.
Okay.
You haven't seen anybody else other than Skaven, armed and armored. The prisoners appear to be predominantly Skaven, with some humans, not really much else other than that. And the humans appear to be either old, badly injured, and or just badly, very poorly fed.
Okay.
Okay. Most of them appear to be very pale, and almost sickly green, given the cast to the sky.
Okay.
Where,
skins.
where direction wise is more sleep rising?
To the southwest.
Okay. And that's the direction the gun is pointing?
It'd be
It's-
more west, but
Yeah, it's pointing more. Very roughly, yes, but I mean you don't have a clear line of sight
that's
there.
fine.
But
All right.
okay, so you managed to make it down to the base of the cliff. The area is filled with broken rocks, rubble, etc., that's fallen from the cliffside itself, along with a horrific stench of sewage, drainage, and other unidentifiable biomatter that seems to have been washed out. There's a steady trickle of greenish, slimy liquid pouring down the mountain. Not like a waterfall per se, but there's it's definitely wet and damp along most of it. With your perceptions again, you can spot here and there, depending on your relative climbing skill, areas where you could probably work out handholds and so forth to climb up if so desired. It's approximately a 75-yard climb. Far up above, you see there's a ledge, and next to the ledge is a large set of 3 massive sewer grates.
3?
Yes.
Does it look like it's something we could slide in between the grates, or does it look like it's?
Yeah, it looks like they're more geared towards keeping large creatures out.
Gotcha.
So people like you should be able to go through them without much difficulty, unless there's something obviously further in that's an issue.
Who all can climb here?
All of us.
Well,
It's a basic skill.
I can.
More importantly, everybody can fall.
Right. I'm happy to take the rope up there, tie it off, and
we don't have enough rope for that.
75 yards. That's what?
I thought you just
Each
said
bundle
you
of rope is 10 yards.
I thought you
We
just
don't
said you have
have like
plenty of
3
rope.
bundles.
He said he has.
So I didn't have 75 yards worth.
Oh,
I have 20 yards.
No,
I don't know
hell
how
no.
much he has.
I have 10 yards.
Let's knives in half.
I have no possessions.
What are you eating?
Anybody else got rope?
What do you guys provide?
He reaches into your pouch.
No, he doesn't.
He grabs some of the green off the wall.
I will absolutely not feed him.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh my god.
I'm gonna start climbing.
Okay, just free climbing.
I remember I've been killing snakes to
Yeah.
feed us. So,
I can.
You wearing your armor, or you're going to take it off for the
Well,
bonus.
do I? What kind? Do I get a large bonus to just be free climbing myself? Because I've got a lot of weight.
It depends. If you're going to carry your armor, then it actually is worse because it's more encumbering.
Right.
If you're going to leave your armor behind and climb without the extra weight, it's less encumbrance. which gives you effectively an agility benefit if you're encumbered.
And we don't. It's a strength for climb,
strength,
but we don't.
Well, strength typically, but we've
Yeah.
said that you can use climbing using either agility or strength. Your
Gotcha.
choice.
We don't have enough rope for me to haul that up when we're all
I think
done.
I heard 30 feet of rope total.
Yards.
Yards, sorry.
So no. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna wear my armor.
Okay.
While they're all doing that,
30 feet, 30 yards should be enough, right?
No, he said
No, before you do
70
that.
yards.
Oh, I think he said
take a
75
good
feet.
look around. Make sure we're not missing something from here. We got a different vantage point. We're on a totally different side of this fort.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure there's no other, possible entrances.
I'll take my helm and coif down and see if we can find.
Study
It's got
area.
the spy
See,
glass.
see if there's
Spyglass?
something else.
Okay.
A path or something we're missing.
Yeah. Now you spend some time looking around. Doesn't seem to be anything else you could spot. There's no secret elven doors or anything like that.
I say friend.
Yeah.
Not even like. I would tell you. You know how some of our cultures will have something stylized in the rock, but like you said, you didn't see that. All right. I really don't want to climb into the sewers. I want to go back to the frozen gates now. Now that I'm here and smelling it.
Yeah. Amongst the rubble, there's more than a few skeletons. They look like they've fallen from a great height and are smashed on the rocks with broken bones and so forth. It appears like they've been picked at by carrion animals.
Any rope on them?
No. Nothing of value. All of them appear to have died without any possessions.
Slaves they tossed off.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Plus, them into the sewer system, they come out the grate and fall.
is that kind of what it looks like?
Yeah.
So undead. We're ready for undead?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Sure. I know undead. Look,
You got a magic weapon.
they're dead. They're dead.
Yeah.
Undead die just as easily as
The living.
the living. Yeah.
Well, isn't the living undead? Isn't that what undead is?
You haven't
You're not
lived until
dead?
you're dead.
If you're not dead, you're.
I start climbing.
Okay.
I'm going to wait underneath the halfling to catch him when
To
he
catch
falls.
him when he falls. Okay.
All right.
As a matter of fact, that's kind of what I was waiting for, to see when he went, because he's the only one I'm really worried about, even though I probably should be worried about him too. I kind of look at you and kind of nudge short. Which one do you want? I know you know him better.
Yeah, I catch him.
I need
I'm
someone to
following
carry
you.
my
You
flail.
wanna tie off to me?
I need someone
Actually,
to
it'd probably be
store my
better
flail
if I go
while
first and you tie off to
Just
me.
flail. I don't know.
Because I assume I can't climb with a two-handed flail in my hands.
You absolutely cannot climb with anything in either hand.
I'm going to.
You got a backpack or something that I can
I
use?
start.
That'll
I
put
have
a
start climbing. I
war.
guess.
You got a war flail, right? Yeah, that's like a 4.5 foot, 5 foot weapon. Right?
It-
It's not stowable. Is it?
Okay.
If I
Just strap
ever
it on your
find
back, like,
any
you have your
like good
strapped on, right?
placements that I could possibly tie a rope
Well,
to,
But you,
I
you
will
have
do
your,
so.
Your,
Yeah.
Then it's gotta have
Okay,
some type
looking
of
up the
a lash.
cliff,
yeah.
it doesn't look
You
like
can
there's
just
anywhere you
shove
can.
like,
the
as
tiny
I'm
rope
climbing.
back, and that
If you
thing
have
is holding
something to
there.
spike a rope
You're fine.
or spike into the stone, you could probably attach a rope that way.
anybody got spikes?
So, Sean,
The wagon
I'm
had
using my
spikes.
10 yards.
Let's go back.
Tie him off.
One's end's tied on him, the other one's with the grappling
Literally
hook.
took
I've hooked it in my
everything
back
I
or
could
hooked
think
it
of.
on something solid. So I'm going to climb the 10 yards, hook it in solid, tell him to climb
Yeah,
up.
there, I
Oh,
mean,
you
there,
have 10
there's
spikes.
crevices and so forth along the
would.
cliff where you could probably anchor a grappling hook, or if you had spikes, you could pound in.
I'll-
You can do that.
I'll
Could
be
we
free
use the 10
climbing.
spikes?
Sure, if you want to.
I'll be free climbing. He'll have the rope
Okay.
each time.
They bring up a good point. Can I just put the military flail in between the lashing of my stones?
Okay.
That sucks.
You're telling me.
Well, I'll wait until he gets up.
All right.
In case I don't want him.
Okay.
My skill is.
Yeah. Before you roll, I just want
35.
I want to look through the specifics of it.
I actually have worse.
Per the climbing mechanics, if it's a simple climb and you got
Yes, I
plenty
do.
of time,
Yeah.
it's just assumed to be done.
Okay.
Even
Okay?
until
If it's a simple climb, this is not a simple climb,
But you're
Okay.
chained up.
and you don't have as much time as you would want
like half
Okay.
necessarily. Okay,
Trying to
because
cover
there's
it
rat
too, right?
patrols
Yeah,
and
one.
something with a bell going on, things like that. So, most climb moves per the mechanics don't require tests. Climbing rules are only required when the climb is difficult, or knowing exactly how long you take is relevant. Okay. Simple surfaces like a ladder just slow you down. You move at half rate up or down ladders or other easily climbed surfaces. If you want to climb quickly, then you make a average climb test. You go the extra success level in yards. You can climb a surface with suitable handholds with a climb test using your action for the turn, ascending or descending at half your movement rate plus the success level in yards. Okay. Some climbs will be beyond the ability of characters unless you have the scale shear surface thing, which is an exceptional climber. A, I don't think anybody has that, and B, that doesn't apply here. That'd be a prepared wall or ice walls, things like that. And this is just a natural cliff. It's relatively smooth, but there are handholds here and there. Okay, so end result is falling. When you fall, you die. Fundamentally, it's D10 damage plus 3 damage for every yard you fall.
Jesus.
Reduced by toughness bonus, but not armor.
Okay, that yeah.
Every yard?
Every yard. 3 damage for every yard you fall, plus an initial D10.
I actually disagree. The armor would not reduce it.
No,
I believe armor would.
At the top, it won't matter.
You're right.
I mean, I'm neutral at that point, but
it's like a halfling if you fell from like fucking 3 feet up. It's got a very good chance of getting really fucked up.
13 points. It would be that maximum if you took a 3-yard fall or a 1-yard fall, 3 foot. Maximum would be 13. Minimum would be 4.
Yeah, you would kill most halflings with a 3-foot fall.
Well, they're already close to the ground. That's a lot of fall for that.
That's fucking stupid. Whatever.
That, like
I'm gonna die from trying to climb this, so I don't give a fuck.
I'm less concerned about the fact that falling from a 10-foot or a 20-foot
Witch Hunter
will kill you. It's the 75-yard fall that naturally is going to mess everybody
Oh yeah,
up.
God yeah.
Okay.
That I don't have a problem
There's
with.
not
but
even like the cap.
Logically, there should be. As far as their base mechanics, they don't include that.
literally
So,
What?
yesterday,
terminal velocity.
I saw a lady fall from 6 stories up.
Uh-huh.
Some little old Asian lady in like Hong Kong. Asian fell from like 6 stories up onto a car,
Uh-huh.
and this old broad got up and walked away.
Yeah, that's where we go back to the undead conversation.
Well, we also got to keep in mind. I mean, when you hit 0, you take a critical wound. You could get lucky and roll like a 1 on the critical wound table,
Right.
And it's just like
She
a
got
stuck
lucky
out.
and she landed on the roof of a car.
Well, that maybe I'm just talking about
Right,
in
I mean,
this case.
You take 100 points of damage, it's the same thing as taking 30 or 10.
Yeah,
They're
fair
Either
enough.
way, you're at
They're
0, you
agents.
take a critical.
They're
Fair
agents.
enough.
They're all descendants of Genghis Khan.
Either way.
Kind of why I thought about
do this.
at
That's
first
not
while
true.
he's climbing. I thought about you like saying
He's racist.
you and I sit with my cloak or something like that under a tent,
Try to catch him.
and yeah, just sit underneath him until he makes it. If he falls, boom. All right, next.
Can
I
he
can just
carry
carry them.
Can he carry
You can literally carry me up there.
right? But if he fails,
I'm gonna crawl. I'm gonna try.
Do you want to do that for him?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
do that. And then
I've got a
we'll
cloak.
do my plan for you. Is that all right?
Okay, so it's a plus 20 athletics check.
Okay.
Okay.
And
What?
you can use agility.
Climb.
You're actually a
Sorry.
hell of a climber.
Well, okay, yeah, it's plus 20 climbing check. It's athletics if you purposely jump off and want to reduce the fall.
Okay.
Okay, but it's a plus 20 climbing check. Figure out what half of your movement rate is.
1.
Okay,
20.
that plus the success level is how far you go
No,
in a
no.
given
My
round.
movement's 2, so half of that would be
You have to
1.
make a check every turn.
Until you reach the
Freaking
top.
encumbered.
Oh my god.
75 checks. Okay, let's do it.
Well, unless you roll really good, then you get 4 or 5 yards. You can you can cover the distance faster.
70.
Then
Then
you only
you need to make 15
This
checks.
is an impossible fucking task.
75 yards. I mean, it's quite a long way.
It is.
Oh, I'm not arguing that. We need to find something else because I'm not even gonna fuck. If I'm not rolling 15 times because I'm gonna fail for sure.
Because I was going to wait for the group.
So
I mean,
this is a death sentence for my character.
It's
I
roughly
gotta do it.
it's roughly the equivalent of what, a 10 to 12 story building
Yeah. Okay.
that you're climbing the surface on.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying it's an impossible task.
Try 20.
I started looking for a different fucking path.
Well, and if
150 feet?
we
You
could,
said 75 yards is 225 feet.
Oh, you're right.
can't
225.
carry
Yeah, so
So
about
it's a
20.
22-story
It's a
building.
20-story building,
capability of
yeah.
a regular cat.
so it could bat a lit bomb.
No. Has no it has nothing tangible about it. Officially.
Okay, so we have
Officially,
two
it
options.
acts
We
just
go up
like
this
a normal
impossible
cat.
task,
Oh,
or
okay.
we go up
So
to
it's
we go
tangible.
into that
Okay.
impossible
So we
task.
could, I mean, does it? I don't want to kill animals, but
It's not a real animal.
that's what I'm asking. Is your cat friend? Is it a real cat, or is it something we could? I don't know.
Is it you
Sacrifice.
polymorphed?
Sacrifice, tie those two bombs to it, have it scamper off, and cause a large distraction as we go in through the front gate.
I'm more confused on the huge distraction going to the front gate. Wouldn't their first reaction to keep the gate closed if there's an explosion?
No, like they see the cat run by with bombs. Like that would intrigue me if I was to see that.
Well, it's also a dwarf fortress built into a mountain. They're not going to be scared of bombs.
I don't know.
Which,
No, I
I'm
would.
not saying it's impossible, but I'm also like confused on your outcome you're thinking is going to happen.
I thought they'd all rush on out and go. We go inside. We close the door. We're inside.
Dude, what?
They see
Well,
lit bombs, so they chase the
go
cat.
ahead. Dad,
Yes.
I start looking for another way.
They're all dogs.
You know all the ways that people have spotted thus far.
We've
There's no
already-
other visible ways at the base of this cliff, other than a bunch of sewage and a lot of broken bones.
So is the cliff? So the exhaust thing coming out of the mountain is it perpendicular or parallel to the mountain? Like is it going straight through the mountain or is this
Yes.
like a separate cliff? Okay. I was wondering if there was like another side we can go in and said go down and propel down if there was a different side to it. As a way, but I didn't know. I didn't
like
know.
if we're trying to access this version when we could find the lower down version.
Well, I was more thinking like in terms of we're on
Go
one
around
side,
and then come down.
go around, and maybe the top portion will
Yeah.
be easier to propel down.
Yeah, there may be other paths where you can climb up the mountain. Where this is, think of it in terms of a tree with a scar on the side where a portion of the bark's been pulled off. And near the top of it, there's a hole, and it comes out onto a cliff area. So if you could climb the other portions of the tree, which may be more shallow, etc., then you might be able to position yourself up and be able to get down to it.
I mean, that'd be my thinking if we're set in stone about the sewer thing. I'm
Yeah.
also open to
That's
ideas
perfect.
for the gate.
Yes.
Short of getting captured, I don't see an easy way though.
And it's probably better to try to
Call it
lower
too.
somebody down from above. It's probably safer to do that than try to climb up and fall.
Well, unless you
Yeah.
fall going down. and
Well,
then-
if everybody else
because
is
one
holding the
because then one failure, you're kind of done.
yeah, you slide
Yeah, but hopefully you land right on that platform up
right.
there.
Potentially. And half of
And then
it's
you
still
just
back.
roll over in pain and fall the rest.
Yes, it does slow mo.
So what? The part that I'm not seeing is what the chance is of actually falling. And I don't know where it would be because I mean, obviously you could get 0 distance, which isn't that unusual.
I'm not familiar with the climbing rules in Warhammer. Other than
It-
I know you don't do
It's
it.
only very basic. A character with a movement of 4 who rolled +2 success levels would climb 6 yards, and it goes based off of that. There's some walls that you simply cannot climb. So, what I would say is a failure by -6 success levels is effectively a fall. If that makes a difference.
I don't think any of us could roll that high.
You can roll a 90. You can roll a 96 or something.
96 and above.
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, we had a very similar situation in our Pathfinder game with their mechanics, and the ones that could climb, basically, they needed the one to fall, and were climbing a similar distance, and they kept falling. Only because
I kept
after a
falling.
while, I mean, if you roll it enough times, you get the one.
That's why I'm not even gonna try.
Right, and now I'm willing to say if you guys want to, if you have different ways to support each other, you can get advantages like that. If you guys are dead set on we got to climb this cliff,
Construct a really big ladder.
yes.
Is it completely rocky or is there topsoil and stuff
No,
as
it's
well?
just rocky. Yeah, on this cliff area, it's a well-worn cliff. With
So I
weather
couldn't
and so
use
forth.
daggers to stab into crevices and stuff and get better handholds and give myself a bonus? Because I have 2 daggers.
There's not really enough handholds along those lines. I mean, you're grabbing onto outcroppings and rocks that are sticking out. There are crevices, and like I said, if you have a spike or something like that that you can pound into the stone, or like a grappling hook or whatever that you could position on things, there's places to do that. But no, there's not enough cracks in the thing to where you can actually stab a knife into it.
Okay.
At least not with anything special as far as the knife.
Leaping and falling.
It doesn't say how you fall though.
Yeah, leaping is not really a relevant thing here.
I leap into the wall. Like,
So fundamentally, I'm going to say if you have a -6 success level after your roll, that's going to trigger a fall.
Okay.
And for most of you, given that's a +20 climb, that's going to result in a 96 plus
Yeah.
on your roll.
All right, then I'll start climbing.
Okay.
and
Otherwise, you just
that's
don't make
really-
any distance.
All right.
Good luck.
anybody have an issue with me leaving the tents down here?
Now,
They could be found.
would a 95 and up trigger that as well?
Burial.
Because it's an auto
Well,
fail.
with these heavy winter
96 and above's auto fail.
Yeah, but is it auto
Yep.
critical
I'm
fail?
looking at like
Yes.
Yeah, but it's still
No,
snowy?
96 or better. No,
Catch that?
it's
Ed?
cold because you're in the mountains, but it's not like horrible weather. Like, and you guys aren't suffering from altitude sickness or anything like that.
Okay,
anymore.
so he just brought up a good idea. Heavy winter clothes, tents, all that shit. We should find a hole and bury them, so
Mark
that we're
it
not
somewhere.
carrying around the weight. Because like that's what's encumbering me is the clothing.
Sure.
Agreed.
mark it with one of these
Or
green
any-
rocks over here.
And without no,
No,
we don't touch
There
greenstone.
were
that was one of my legs.
big post skeletons around them.
There you go.
Just bury them.
Wrap the skeletons in winter clothing, keep them warm.
My skeleton skull on top.
I'm not leaving Chip.
In all seriousness, I
leaving
can't
it?
carry you out this place. I can't carry you out this cliff.
Well, can somebody carry my clothes? My heavy clothing?
Make it happen.
I'm-
Climbs the road.
I'm already carrying basically at my limit of being it.
Carrying yours is 3 or 4.
Carrying it adds 1 point to the encumbrance.
I cannot carry
Carrying
anything
it
except
uses its
no.
normal encumbrance.
Right.
Wearing it subtracts 1. So
Right.
it's effectively the same thing as adding 1, but
If you, I cannot
He's-
carry anything.
Well, I
He
meant
said the clothing, the heavy winter clothing was 3 encumbrance last time,
Warren.
Warren is 3.
but it's only 1 if you're not wearing it.
4.
4 if you're not wearing it.
Wearing it.
Carrying.
Because it's bulkier.
Hey, blame Matt. He's the one who guarded us.
I agree with the idea
I'm
of
gonna
just
start-
carrying.
All right, my first roll to climb.
You're going to go with the winter clothing?
Are we gonna
Oh
wait
my
for him to
god,
fall?
really?
yeah, we're gonna
Wait, did I-
take my winter coat.
No, you didn't.
We're
you
gonna
didn't
hold
roll.
it.
You just put.
Well, you just rolled a 100, so yeah, you
That's
failed to
impressive.
get an initial stop. You don't fall from the. From
But
the
you
Actually roll.
He
Did I
can't
really
reach.
roll 100?
You can't even reach the first.
either you typed a 100 or you rolled a 100.
That is amazing.
No, it didn't. It must have just. I must have forgot the D when I.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one I almost failed, and I have to do this 15 fucking times.
You have to determine how many yards you get to climb each time.
Okay, so we're using my agility stat.
Plus your climb skill.
Okay,
Just let me carry you.
if I have a much better chance if I wasn't wearing this stupid clothing.
Leave
Give
it
it to
behind.
me. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I'm not any more encumbered by
All right.
I mean, I understand the desire not to carry other people's
Yeah.
gear. At the same point, you're wearing a
Yep.
parka trying to climb a mountain.
I'm already carrying 6 points of his freaking gear.
Stat wise,
Sounds like that should be left behind too.
Since my small stature screws me a lot, would my stature, would my winter clothing still
You
be
keep
full
saying-
encumbrance for him
It's
to
an extra
carry?
hand
Well,
weapon.
functionally, your
Because it's
small
only half the
stature-
size as everybody else's.
Functionally, your small stature,
It's not
the
like I
only
gave you,
thing
like,
it
my
does
normal clothes
is
for
make
the-
you
for the
weigh
thing.
6
You won't
instead of
use it
8.
all.
It has no
No,
other
they
game
just
effects
made you,
anymore
like, some
because we got
cloth
rid of
to
all
put on
those.
a wound. Because I know you, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
Let me
You put the 13 gold.
Now,
clothes
I-
If
on,
you
like,
say that
a wound.
again, I'm going to fucking stab you.
4, 3.
I am open to the idea of saying yours weighs 1 point less because it's halfling sized gear.
Okay, thank you.
Fine.
Alright, cool.
All right, I take your coat.
You're gonna
from
make
you.
me climb 300 goddamn
I'm not
feet
going to
up.
make you do anything. I'm giving you a scenario. You're free to try whatever you wish.
So you have a speed of 3, so now you're going 1.5 yards per climb. +1 per success level.
But
Okay, so figure out what your net bonus is.
How about let's
Okay.
set this time? Let's take a little bit, and let's see if there's a better way somewhere else to climb up.
You should let him climb up first and then go look.
I get a plus
How about
20
the two of
naturally,
you go
right?
look?
So,
plus 20 base for the climb.
So my
The
roll is
reason
a
why is because
62.
while he's
My
climbing,
base
What I'm
skill
saying
is a
is-
62, so I
So
rolled an
you have to
85.
climb while he's
Oh,
still
okay.
here.
So I got
Let's
negative
all
2 success
investigate
levels.
and look.
Right, so you didn't go anywhere.
okay.
Okay, so I just kind
So,
of
hey-
scamper around for the first
Right.
yard.
But we'll round up and say your 1.5 is 2 yards every action. So if you get -2 success levels or less,
It's
you
gonna
don't
end
go
up
anywhere.
falling.
If you
It's the
get
5%
-6,
chance
then you fall. The only way you can get -6
Oop, shit.
is functionally by rolling a 96 to 100.
So what is the point at which you reach that -2? With the plus 20
I
bonus?
literally can't.
Yeah, you can.
-2 success
Oh,
level.
negative 2 success level would be 82.
Right.
Okay.
82 through 95, you don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Anything else, you go a couple of yards.
All right, I go 1 yard.
Okay.
Damn it, I'm rolling terrible.
We
You know,
take
pull
him off the wall.
Okay. He pulls you off the wall. You fall.
No, set me back down. We're gonna go look around and see if there's another way up. Watch you
I
struggle.
fucking suggested that at the beginning.
It was you talking.
Yeah, he finally found a route up the mountain.
He's like, I was halfway there, jerk.
Now, on a serious note, now that we see how much of a struggle it truly is,
I have little arms. Give me a break.
I really don't want you to die. All right.
Why?
All right. Well, then let's. Now I can see you were right. I was wrong. Let's move on.
Okay.
You say
Start
that
scouting
again?
from a fucking different way because this is retarded.
We will spend a good amount of time looking for a better way. I mean, lights from a different area, anything.
Okay. So you scout around the area. You find there is a couple of routes by which you could climb the mountain to, like you were suggesting, go above the place and rappel down to the sewer entrance. Okay, a couple of easier ones. It'll take you longer to do so, but there's ways to do it. Otherwise, scouting around the perimeter of the mountain, other than some lights that you can see at the peak where the cannon is and there's some activity, the only other entrance that any of you can locate appears to be the main gate. So unless you have a way to get in through that gate, the only other option appears to be the sewer. Okay? Now, while you're doing that, in the distance from the top of the mountain, you hear continuing chimes as the bell rings, chiming out 11 times.
Think I have to count down?
Okay?
Yeah, they're
How
gonna
much
fire the
reward
cannon
is
when it runs out with him, I guess.
It's full on the western sky, but
I think they're gonna shoot more sleep.
that chime took about 30 minutes since the previous one.
Yeah, I think they're gonna shoot more sleep. I think they already have.
That's where all the green flecks are.
Hey, they destroy it. So be it. I mean,
As Morsley
No.
comes out, I pull my winter clothing a little tighter around me.
Okay.
Well, none of us have experience, right, with more sleep, do we?
Nope. I thought we all got updates from
You
the
guys,
prior
you guys have heard
adventurers.
the stories of previous people.
Yeah.
And, I mean, everyone's aware of what More Sleep does. I mean, it's a common thing in the whole world.
Yeah, okay.
What happens?
Well, I had that problem last time. It was like, we're not horribly getting corrupted. The whole world would be corrupted the first fucking time this thing was out.
Everybody locks their doors and stays inside.
That's usually the response when it's out.
Yeah.
It stays inside.
More Sleep comes up. And that's the day we're going to watch family movies.
You think we can-
I was thinking the same thing.
9 times.
That time was
11.
Yeah.
Do you guys think we could
Each time it seems to be 1 chimes less.
meet up with a group of slaves and like slide our way in? I mean, not me. I'm
No.
too amazing. But
Oh, I had that fixed.
No, a slave walking around with a giant stone on his
well,
back.
get rid of your stone.
No.
I like that.
Ain't nobody gonna take it. I can't lift it.
You look
Nobody
like a slave already anyway. Look, it's fact.
I have this stone to protect you from the sins you might commit.
Uh-huh.
If I put this away, God knows what you will do.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, I'm gonna commit.
Older tries assault.
God's not involved at Sigmar.
But maybe what we can do is we get some chains and make it look like we chained it to you, so as a punishment. And you just fake that it's really heavy.
Where do we get chains?
I don't know. We can use.
I got
some tie it up
manacles.
also. There you go, manacles.
Sean, can you go in there and repair my armor and my weapon?
Are you gonna
Right
give
click
up
on
your
it or
full
left
battle
click
plate?
on the damage. Should repair it.
Well, no, why would I? I'm just captured.
Are you
I-
gonna give up your
Hell no.
weapon?
I am not letting myself be taken prisoner. I don't care. We
Agreed.
found a better way to get up the mountain. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Sweet.
See, you
Oh, Catman.
we're climbing, just not where
Can't
you
believe
wanted to
people were
climb.
Considering that.
The problem is like, it wants me to pay the cash to repair it.
Oh.
And this was all stuff that was repaired at the
Pickup line.
yeah, the pickup
There's
line.
no option just to say 0 cash.
I can't even see where in the chat I see where it says repair.
Oh, go into your inventory for
Yeah.
the under combat.
Oh, under combat. I was looking at trapping.
And it's going to be under combat, and then where it's going to be red, I believe the right click, the number will go up.
There is no red.
Is your armor all 1 point?
No, like my sling. We're looking at my sling right
Oh,
now.
your sling. Oh, okay. So for the damage, under the damage,
Just increase it there.
left click it. If it's red currently.
Nope.
If it's not red, then it's not damage.
So it
But in
says,
chat it says it's damage.
yeah, your sling has 1 point of damage. It has a maximum out of the 6 points it can sustain. So let me go to your combat and to your sling.
Oh, there it is. No, you're red.
Now it's down to 6. Yeah, it's received 1 point out of the maximum 6. It has the full damage, so at 6 it's normal.
Okay.
Okay, otherwise it would be at 5. And then your body has 1 of 2 points of damage. And your boiled leather breastplate has 2 points of armor. And you have a leather jacket with 1 point.
Okay.
So
Zero,
they all
zero,
they all
zero.
look current.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to derail for a sec. I saw in the chat it said all 3 of those things were damaged, and I'm like, okay. Trying to
Yeah,
figure out how to
I'm
fix
not seeing anything that's actually damaged right now, so don't worry about it for now.
So we're climbing this mountain?
it. Sorry.
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, so you guys are going to take the time and go the alternate route?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good idea.
So you guys spend some time climbing the mountain with all your gear and everything else. Down below in the valleys, you can see rats moving along different valleys, different areas, bringing more slaves into the citadel, or otherwise just keeping an eye out on things. More slave slowly climbs further and further into the sky. By the time you reach a outcropping, maybe 10, 15 yards above the sewer exit, you hear another set of chimes from the top, counting out 10 times.
Okay.
How long has it been?
In that case, it was 37 minutes.
Then how close are we to the top?
You are quite a ways from the top.
Okay. Well, we have enough rope to rappel down with the rope now.
Somebody have a spike that I can use?
10 spikes.
Okay, I take a spike,
spike it into the ground and tie up my 20 feet of rope.
You want to just use a grappling hook?
Which would be easier or more
Grappling hook
secure?
is easy. You just hook it on things. But
Which would be more secure?
Me?
Yes,
yeah, if he stays
but
behind, he can anchor it.
I'll
You
anchor.
said 30 minutes between the 12 and 11
The
time.
first one was 45
yes,
minutes.
it varies.
The second one was 30.
Okay.
This time, according to him, it was 37 minutes.
Okay. Not that it really matters.
It could matter. It's a formula.
Sure.
That's the it's the combination when we get there. It's just a big combination.
All right.
That's right.
Combination of
So
To
I'm gonna.
defeat the enemy, you must tell me the 13 numbers.
We're gonna take the 20.
13,
grappling hook.
39,
I'm already
63,
Wait,
40.
do you have the grappling hook?
Shoot, gotta go
I'm
back
either
around.
using a spike or a grappling hook, whichever one you guys give.
Use the
me.
grappling hook.
Yeah, I think the tent spikes are probably a little weaker than climbing spikes you don't want to.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you attach it with the grappling hook, wedge it between some rocks, drop down the rope using the 10-foot or the 10-yard or the 20
yards.
foot. Okay, so you drop down the rope. There's a bit of length at the bottom. Lands in the goo and slime and water at the bottom of it.
Hopefully that's not where we're landing. We're landing in
Yeah.
goo and slime.
Yeah, at the top, there's a platform where the whole thing exits out of.
This is such a great idea.
You want me to go first so you don't put your dainty little feet in the mush?
Yep, you go right ahead.
Gosh, what a sissy.
Yeah.
I start climbing down.
Okay, give me same sort of climb check. Just need one this time.
I was reason Ulrich had to
You will go down.
pray to Sigmar.
I'm trying to remember if you were the one running the game at that time of Pathfinder, where Neil climbed down the side of the mountain and then
Oh God!
Guess what I got back? Guess what I got back, and I'm gonna use it.
Okay.
We're gonna re-roll.
Andy says, "I got this." And walks off the cliff, forgetting the rope.
Christ.
Said it's 15 yards. Let's math that up. Okay, let's try again.
Take 842
That's
points of damage.
The 42 plus
Minus
a
your
D10.
toughness.
Can we assist in the climbing?
37 plus a D10.
Is there a bonus for the rope or no?
That's irrelevant.
Okay.
At this point, everybody's at 96 plus. You fail,
Effectively, assisting wouldn't matter.
Hey!
Jesus Christ.
which is fine.
God.
You make it as long as you don't roll a 96 plus. You're able to climb down. You rappel with some
go
difficulty and challenge, but after a few seconds, you find yourself at the bottom. You
I'll go
step
next.
off, or you let go of the rope. You're on a platform, maybe 20 or 30 feet wide. It stretches out maybe 5 to 10 feet from the culvert entrances. It's covered in goo and rot and liquid. I won't say water, but liquid that's sort of oozing out of the 3 large grates that are on the side of the mountain. Here and there, there's large, chunky things that smell horrible. Like, worse than you would have thought would be possible. And you're a gravedigger.
Yeah. No.
Can you describe giant rat turds?
Okay. Some of those, they seem to very slowly be
So
pushed over to the edge where they eventually would fall off. Next to you are these gigantic grates, maybe 15 feet across, easily 3 or 4 feet in between the bars. All of them are badly rusted and damaged, but don't look like they are broken as such. There's massive bolts securing it to the mountain, each, gosh, a good 6-7 inches across.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
So
Up above, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
I'd like to hold the rope, try to secure it a little for him. I mean,
You know those
make it
machines you put the
Sure.
coins in, you stack them, and it has
Give me a roll. That's
Oh,
not a 96.
hope you guys are all
Okay.
nice to me. I might
Yeah, he scurries down nice and simple. Drops down next to you into the goop.
squish squash.
Squarch.
I'm over there going like this.
How
Squeeze,
much, how much
squeeze.
room is on this platform?
It's about 30 feet wide and about 10 feet deep.
So
Okay.
plenty of
Plenty
room
of
for
room.
all
Yeah.
of us.
Okay.
We should probably figure out the order though.
The smell coming from the tunnel is worse than you've ever smelled before. And you were at the picket for a while.
You want to hold my lantern?
Yeah. Not really.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull the flail and just kind of step behind you.
I think
You
he's on
gonna
the edge.
hit me?
No, I'm gonna sit behind you so that when the fight happens, you get hit first.
Are we fighting them?
So,
I thought we liked them.
I'm gonna go last. I'll let all you guys go ahead.
Sorry.
I opt for another direction.
Yes.
Okay, I go
So,
down.
like I said, the only thing that's really relevant is if you have a particularly low athletic. It may be relevant. I don't think anybody does as far as their climbing skill, but maybe somebody does.
Bend back.
Okay.
I keep an eye out below us to see if we have alerted anything while we're doing this.
You guys using any lights?
I'm not.
Okay. I mean, you see movement in the valley. Here and there, little green lights like lanterns moving around. Other than that, nobody seems to be reacting to your presence.
Okay.
Okay. Heinrich and Tolman climbed out without much difficulty.
As I drop down, I bring my mask up a little bit more because I actually have a mask. It gives benefits for airborne diseases.
Okay. You think it's Heinrich. He's wearing a mask.
And immediately off the cliff, you
What?
go. I literally bought it when we were still in Mannheim
we
for the
don't-
sewers.
We don't know that.
I'm fine with that.
Where were my athletics? Because
Just suddenly
I'm
the
same
bird of
training
death
and
drops
it's
down.
fine.
Just
Okay.
And
Yeah.
if I use
Oh.
my strength, I do have the possibility of failing it still, -6.
Okay.
So, there you go.
Okay. You drop down. It's difficult. You more semi-controlled fall, but manage to make it to the bottom.
You always
Can I
stand on
squeeze
your
through the
feet.
bars?
Everybody
Oh, I'm gonna start
Yeah, you
scouting.
can
down.
walk through the bars.
I'm gonna start scouting down the tunnel.
Okay.
I have night vision and acute sense of smell, so.
Okay. The
Oh.
acute sense of smell is not giving you any favors at this
Oh,
point.
I understand. I understand.
Night vision helps you at the entrance, but after a ways it gets pretty dark inside. In the distance, you can hear
Maybe. I have.
not really rhythmic, but frequent sounds of hammering and industry noise.
Okay.
Okay, doesn't seem to be rhythmic. It's not like a drum or anything
Yeah, I
like
gotcha.
that. Okay.
thank God the one with dark vision died.
I have a mask
Mine's a
too
storm
for
hunter, that
legal
makes a
means.
difference when you could,
Yeah, let's
For
do
legal
that.
means?
I'll take
Yeah,
your
that's-
sense of level, man.
Yours gives
No,
you a
I have a
bonus
storm
of
lantern
law.
too.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll break out my storm lantern and put it to its lowest setting and
Okay,
all that, just
so
enough to
you-
give me the night vision.
You're in a single tunnel that
Okay.
leads into all three of these grates. It starts off maybe 50 feet in diameter. A sort of a hemisphere or semicircle, and relatively flat on the bottom.
Okay.
The bottom is coated by this sludge. Stepping in, it goes up past your ankles. And looks like from the staining on the side, it has at different times been up as high as 5 feet or so on the edges. Okay. There are numerous unidentifiable blobs here and there amongst the muck and everything.
Halfling sized.
Some of them larger.
I walk over to one of them and pull out a dagger and start kind of cutting away at it.
Okay.
Whispers
You
in it.
slice into it. It looks. The first one you slice into looks like a molded body of something.
Mm-hmm.
You think it might be a Skaven. Looks like it's been rotting here and just festering.
Okay.
It peels apart more than cuts as you cut into it.
And we're routine. There's like a lot of these lumps in down here.
There's within your visibility, you could see maybe a dozen or so. With your night
Does this
vision.
look like natural rot, or
Yeah.
like encasement by something else?
No, this looks like the body has been sat here to decay and rot
Okay.
away,
Okay.
and has been slowly being carried downstream by the
Sewer
sludge.
spider or something fucking down here. Okay.
Nothing visibly as such.
GM's like,
Sewer spider. Got it. So I believe the two of you are the old last ones up above.
Existence.
Ready to
Both
go?
of you waiting to be the last.
Oh, I climbed out first.
Yeah.
Oh, you're you two. You're the only one.
down.
You're right
You're
down.
the only one down. You're the only one up there.
Okay.
So you cut the rope and leave.
I just make sure that the grappling hook's in a position where I will be able to get it out if I need to.
You won't be able to.
But we can climb back up if we need to.
Do we want to be able to go back out? Yeah, I'll leave it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can certainly remove it manually at this point, but once you're down below, there's no getting out of it or getting it off.
Okay.
I might have a way of getting it off.
Ah,
Making
it's his favorite grappling hook.
All right.
I'm gonna check the bars for
Is it
scratch marks.
average? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be any claw marks or damage to it other than rust and decay.
Is this dwarven or skin?
It appears to be dwarven construction.
69.
Nice. What were the
Okay.
dwarves trying to keep out?
So I'm going to go ahead and load my crossbow.
There's
You're
lots
gonna
of stuff.
unload your crossbow.
Load.
Load. Okay.
They told us we're
Load up your crossbow.
So, are we
Bourbon?
interested in
Yeah.
having this, right?
Trolls.
It's 20 yards. I have my grappling hook.
Yeah.
I mean, if we need a way out, this is our only way.
Yeah.
Well, but then we have to climb up, which we're gonna have the same issues with us climbing up.
It's not that far.
Climbing up is different than climbing down.
Why do you look at me?
I'm looking at me. I'm looking at me also, but I mean the halfling.
You got
It's a
rope.
great example.
Listen, I'm just gonna
You got rope this time. You're not free climbing.
I'm gonna hold
Huh?
you. Climb.
You got this.
You climb out of my tiny.
Have faith.
Regardless, into the sewers.
I'm sorry. Are we retrieving the rope in some
Yeah.
form, or are you leaving it?
As a matter of fact, I'm going to keep it tight so it's not flapping in the wind and tie it off to one of the bars.
Okay. Sure.
So it's nice
Yeah, I
and
mean,
tight
I think there's
stuck
like
there.
5 yards or so just on the ground,
Alright.
so plenty of room you can tie it off.
You're welcome.
Might I say, George, your grace is almost cat-like.
Yeah. Make sure you mark off the rope,
Already
which will
did.
save you some experience or some encumbrance.
No, because it all was in my backpack.
Oh, my grappling hook.
Yeah, that's
Stuff that's in your backpack still weighs.
Well, no, it's a pocket. It's a pocket portal.
It's not a pocket backpack. Okay.
Portable black hole.
I'm keeping up with the halfling there.
You're keeping up with the halfling? Okay, yeah, the halfling's gone in a little bit. You see him
Yeah.
digging through some of the muck. Stands back with some disgust.
I'll just follow him.
Bodies. Where'd my grappling hook go?
These are
Bodies. Is this? Oh, there it is.
as I wade directly through them.
Okay.
It's up the cliff.
Let me see how scale wise.
Drop it, right? That's work.
Because you're the only
Should be a
faithful
trash can.
person here.
It is. but
Faithful to
I
what?
Destroy. Dude, need it.
Faithful to Sigmar.
Oh.
Faithful in his abilities.
I just drank your blood water, but
Said you have
Okay.
a storm lantern going thing,
Mm-hmm.
but really low.
And like I've said prior, my purpose is to resolve you with your sins. I
How
hope that
far
you can
have you
eventually
gone?
lift the stone.
all the sins. Sinner. Who's your favorite comedian? Buddy Waggett? You're a sinner, Richard.
Where's that from?
Tommy Boy.
Mm.
Don't do the wave room thing, Tommy.
I have never seen that.
Tommy like Wingy, you have to watch it from the beginning. And doesn't hurt so much here, but right here. Right after Dave Smith smokes him with a 2x4 in the face. Come on, tons of fun.
I've got to watch it.
Oh,
Just a second.
oh my god.
Okay, that should work.
Dude, I need to get a mace and strike to stun. Because I have it. I can get it.
Stun.
A strike to stun, you don't get a penalty for hitting him in the head with a pole weapon. For
Okay,
aiming.
we have
So you
Boris,
just be
we
like,
have
I'm going to hit him in the
Heinrich,
head. Bonk. In every fight.
Determined. Oswald.
How far ahead are you going?
Tolman.
I'm scouting ahead.
Like how far?
Until I run into something.
We're just going through some squishy body goo.
Okay.
Oh, yes, you
let's
can
see
accurately
if
predict
This
40 meters.
agrees with us.
40.2 meters.
Oh, it's
It's dark.
Okay, it is dark. So you said you are going to light a. You have your lantern set small.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will give you a candle.
Oh wow, that's a big entrance.
Oh, yes, you're taking point.
Wait. Oh. Wait.
Okay.
Which way is it going?
Passageway to the south is out onto the cliff.
Can we arrange ourselves?
You can arrange yourself however you wish.
I feel like
Currently, though,
something's already missing.
And the light leaves. Well,
yeah, the halfling heads on. So hold on a moment so everybody can at least line themselves up with you.
See, for me, everybody's still in the light.
there you go.
Let everybody else move, then I'll
You
move.
see the difference in because you don't have night vision. I do. It's ridiculous. I love it.
We just
Okay.
follow in the light.
So relevant
Tell me
to
all,
the
Phil.
halfling. Is everybody good with where they're at?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Am I the only one?
I stayed a little bit back from him because he said he
You're
was
going with
scouting
my
ahead, but
I think the ranger has it. But
Do you have night
All right,
vision?
I'm gonna use my
Yeah.
dad's screen.
Okay.
So you can see just as well as I can.
Mm-hmm.
No. There.
The whole point of me scouting isn't for you guys to butt hump me while I'm doing it.
You got the light.
I'm not.
Get your own light.
No, that occupies a hand.
He's got a lantern. Somebody. Wherever.
I light up my
You've
lantern.
got a candle. You're good.
I light up my lantern.
Okay.
Medium burn.
Okay. Hold on.
No. God damn it.
you're too fast.
And back you go.
Medium burn, storm lantern.
He's placing all the creatures.
He's ready
Right.
to go.
Activate.
Unfortunately, I'm dealing with. For some reason, Volker is sideways.
What?
Oh, no, I guess you're not. Unfortunately, I'm on this laptop because my main computer died right before the game.
Oh,
So everything is running fairly slow at this point.
Like physically died.
The operating system had an issue when I tried to reboot. It said, I have driver problems. I'm not going to boot. So,
Is it? Are you using Linux or Windows?
Linux.
All of a sudden, my dad sees that it's just full of rat ogres.
Now I'm not able to
I closed
change
the
or
lantern
select
and
anything.
leave.
It's just
Okay.
rat ogre.
Okay,
rat
so
ogre,
Heinrich,
rat
you said you're going to light a lantern.
Medium flame, storm lantern.
Okay, so you have the equivalent of a torch then.
Is that better?
I think for some people. Okay, so you guys have the general marching order you're at. As you guys move up, I will move everybody as a group.
You're that far ahead.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to stay in the light.
There's more light.
He's extremely slow, so I just caught up with him.
Following everybody is not much of a difficulty. Okay. The sounds of industry, as I'll put it, continue as you head further and further in.
And that's what
Did you want
Sorry?
Did we want to fall back to the other light and let him move forward? I mean, scouting when you have a light is kind of pointless anyway. Yeah, I stay where I'm at. We're good.
Okay. The passageway gets narrower, and as it does so, the sludge gets slightly thicker and deeper, sort of constricting as you go. It's easily squishing over your feet, not necessarily into the tops of your boots or your shoes. Well, if you have shoes, that's probably rather uncomfortable, but if it's not over your boots as such.
Neither cell on my flail out.
Okay.
The stinky way.
I'm too worried about falling. I do not have a weapon out.
Stinky foot.
You do not have a weapon out?
A shield, but no weapon. I need an open hand to take a hold of something.
Yeah, shield and weapon.
Okay. Up ahead, you see a shift in the passageway in that there's a section coming up where the tunnel constricts down into a narrow tunnel about 15 feet across, over which you can hear through the flagstones and the construction the sounds of feet.
Is there anything that we should ask about this gray section that looks like a
It's
Side
the wall.
passage?
It's just the wall, the way the walls are laid out. Here and there's sections where you can see more structure, as opposed to just the natural formation based on how the architecture was. Fundamentally, it's limitations on how they drew the walls for the sections.
Are we noticing
I think you and
any
I should take front.
way up yet?
No,
If we're
the slope.
Stay with
There's
this.
definitely a
Oh,
slope.
sorry.
It's not very significant, but it's maybe 5 degrees or so heading into the mountain.
if we're sticking with the plan, I think
There's
we
also
should
quite a
take
bit
front.
more warmth here, to the point that several of you are sweating given your heavy winter clothing. It feels, compared to the winter where it's been below freezing for the last, 2 weeks for you?
It's-
Here it's in the mid 50s, low 60s. You guys are particularly warm, especially with your heavy winter clothing.
Fair point.
So we can hear footsteps. Are they marching in unison, or
You hear traffic in the smaller sections, not organized. It's not like a march going back and forth. You hear somebody or many somebodies passing over in both directions at random.
like up above us?
Yes,
Is there grates or anything like that up above us? It's just flagstone.
just flagstone. You hear the movement through the stone.
Good
Okay.
information to keep. Not much we can do about it now.
Explosives.
We saved
None.
those.
All right, moving forward.
We saved those to blow up the gun.
But I'm gonna try to be a little stealthier, quieter. If we can hear them, they may hear us. So
Hold on, don't do that.
Okay, that's what I was afraid of.
Into the wall.
Give me a moment.
Dad, you're a magician.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Stone meld.
Stoneman. Stoneman.
Okay. You continue forward, and there appears to be, from what you could tell, a passageway above you, where you hear movement for this length. Someone or multiple someones, quite a bit of traffic is moving back and forth. Not at a steady pace. I mean, it's not like a continuous stream of people, but as you're approaching, you hear footsteps approach and then go over it. As you go past, you hear some other footsteps going the other way.
it's kind of a main thoroughfare, maybe.
There's activity at least up
Okay.
there. Okay. Beyond, as you come around the corner, Thad, you can see ahead of you. It opens up somewhat, and looks like they forgot walls here, which doesn't really matter. But let me just block out some of these, just because you don't really have the context there. Okay. There you go. You see the passageway curves a little bit off to the left, and then there's another culvert opening that opens into a room. Okay, and from that chamber, you can hear the dripping of liquid and so forth. You also start to see some greenish glowing lights coming from that room. Not at your level. It looks like it's something from above.
Does it look like we could crawl up and get into that room?
From where you're at, the passageway leads over to it, and it enters a room that's open from above.
Oh, okay. Well, and you said there's lights.
Yep.
Then I completely closed the storm lantern
Okay.
and gesture to them because I can still see with the green light then.
Yeah. With the green light, you're fine.
Okay, I turn around and like gesture for them to close the lanterns.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys put.
I have storm lantern.
Yeah, you guys put the lights up.
we'll start creeping forward.
Okay.
I have descended to wall.
So I'll put you guys here. I still have the lights going just because I don't have any ambient light. Although I could probably activate that. Most of the place has light.
So can you just like add portions that block the line of sight?
Yeah, they're called walls.
Well, yeah.
Global illumination.
I got what you meant.
Yeah, in the software you can program effectively walls.
Right.
And it's as simply as you just draw a line on the GM side. And it draws a wall.
I swear it listens. I just got a pop up for updated software is available for this computer. It heard the activation.
Okay, so in theory, global illumination is now turned on because you're at a section where there would be light up anyways. Let me turn off of all of your respective lights.
Yep, that's working.
Yep.
Okay. So, like I said, ahead of you, it shows a wall, but there's a chamber beyond it. Let's see if I can block that off.
Yeah, we can see some of it.
Oh, it's much smaller than I thought it would be. Or are you just walling it off?
I'm just walling off a section of it. Again, their pre-drawn walls are a little bit challenging.
So
I'd
this
say.
goes out further than that.
No. What happens is the section where you're at, where Thad can see at least, there's a room maybe 4 or 5 yards across.
And it opens up.
That opens up above you, and from above is where you can see the greenish light. You can also hear voices speaking in Skaven. Not close, but coming from whatever's above.
And I'll turn around and gesture to the group that I hear something up there, like. And what are the walls covered in this slimy crap?
The walls, not per se. It's much deeper in this area. There appears to be a couple more bodies in far less state of decay. There's also a large amount of just unidentifiable vegetation type stuff.
Okay.
It looks like corn stalks and everything, but of a ash black color.
Let's see, we're finding corn in the sewer. That's kind of gross, Sean.
Herbalism?
Chaos.
Is
Sure.
it dangerous? Or helpful even?
What's got the
I don't know.
juice?
Give it a try.
It's almost
Pick up a
random,
piece, take a bite.
random skill for.
Not necessarily, but
It doesn't look appetizing at all.
I've heard that there's mushrooms that can grow off poop that are pretty, interesting. But
Yes, let's go into this game strong and we'll start tripping balls.
Get the mushrooms from their poop.
we got a guy with a flail. He just starts spinning. Send him in.
Priorities.
I'm going to start trying to quietly climb, I guess.
You want me to do that?
Sure.
Find madcaps?
That's my one thing I'm good at, so.
Go for it,
Climbing?
brother.
No,
Or
not fine.
being quiet.
And very being quiet.
Okay. So you're gonna move in there and
Love that you
try to climb up.
theory.
You gotta remember he's carrying around a bag of like
Give
silverware.
me a basic climbing check.
And I can use my agility.
And plus 20.
Which come on.
How high is it?
Line this.
It's about 15 feet. Not very high at all.
5 yards. Can you do it, Dan?
Probably not.
Enough to kill the halfling.
I modify the climb
Okay.
test.
Yeah, you climb up without much difficulty. I mean, you're getting filthy the whole time, but you get up to the top, looking out. Let me see if I can show you what's out there. Okay, so the easiest way for me to do that would be to remove this wall. Okay, you look out, and you see what looks like fields of this black corn growing in stubby little stalks, almost like bushes, but laid out in surprisingly neat rows. Okay, amongst the field, there's maybe 15 or so Skaven.
Okay.
Looks like they're tending the crops. From above, there's a section that opens up in the roof, and there's a shaft that disappears up above. As you're watching, something falls from it and lands with a thud in the middle of the field. You think it may have been a body.
Okay.
I guess is there a way out of the ring?
None that you can see from where you're at.
Did the body scream?
I'd like to look around in the room.
Okay, gonna climb up into the room and try to stay stealthy.
Yeah.
Okay. You climb out. That gets you to maybe here. There appears to be a tunnel over here leading out,
Okay.
and then a passageway that leads here further into the mountain.
Does one look more traversed than the other?
Yeah, this one on the left, basically seems completely ignored.
This one on the left.
I'm sorry, on the right here.
Okay.
That one seems completely ignored. There's very little activity over there. The one to the south, you see a Skaven every so often walk in or walk out through there.
Okay. Is there anyone directly below the passageway, like our group?
The rest of the group is nearby. I mean, you can signal to them or whatever.
Yeah. I'm gonna go stealth my way to the looks like less traversed things. Let's see,
Okay.
let's see what looks like is directly over there.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll.
Yeah.
What are the rest of you guys gonna do? You see George climb up to the top, look out for a moment or two, and then climb up cautiously on the edge and disappear from view.
He said he
we
was
see.
going to scout, though.
Yeah.
What he said.
Yeah.
You guys just gonna wait here patiently until something happens, or he returns, or you guys gonna be impatient?
Keep my eyes peeled. All
Give him a few
place
minutes.
with my night vision.
Okay.
Keeping an eye, make sure nothing. Just keeping an eye on.
I assume it's urban. I can use urban. But
Yeah, that's fine.
So this dead ended into this room, and he went up. There's
Yes.
nothing else around us.
There's lots around you, nothing you want to investigate.
Oh, okay.
It looks like this is their sewage and disposal area,
Gotcha.
and they've been throwing anything and everything in here, including many dead captives and any other trash that they don't want. Okay. So you head over here. The passageway from the far side slopes up rapidly and comes to an end roughly where that wall is, disappearing into several narrow holes and shafts up above where water is dripping down from above. They look too small to traverse. It looks like all of this area appears to be dwarven architecture, and it looks like some sort of a drainage system feeding water into the area. You see pairs of Skaven, armed and armored. They're keeping watch on the area, but not very attentively. Most of the Skaven that are tending the farm look to be sickly and malnourished, and have shackles on their feet. Okay. There's maybe 6 or 7 guards in the room, and every so often another pair comes into the room. They'll sometimes walk over to the corn and rip a chunk of it off, and then walk off chewing on it.
I'll go over back to the hole. And I guess climb down.
Okay. Along the southern wall here, where you're at, right around here.
Okay.
There's boxes and storage where they've been gathering a lot of the food.
Okay.
Okay. And other supplies. So George returns after a couple minutes, climbs back down and reports whatever he cares to.
Good to go?
I may not have caught it, but were there any irrigation channels?
The sewage stuff
So
and the fertilizer from the bodies up top.
Okay.
we need to somehow take out the guards without them getting out of this place because we're not stealthing past them. What exits were they near? Like, can you give us a draw? Can you draw in the muck using your sword? Give us a layout.
I'm not even sure where they are, like on the map, purposely. I mean, you said they're around and stuff like that, watching, but
Were they moving or were they standing in place talking? Or?
Generally standing in place. Like I said, the guards in the farm area don't seem to be paying much attention. They're just there. The slaves are the most numerous ones. The ones that are coming in and out that are actually traveling are the ones in the south by the tunnel.
How frequently, like time-wise, does it look like they were doing?
Not often. It was like you were out there, you saw one group come in, they went over to the boxes, got some supplies or whatever, and then they turned around and left.
And they're not that attentive.
You ready to stealth?
But they are, I would say, of the, we'll say 6 guards in the room, they're in 3 groups of 2, spread out over a fairly large area.
But the only way out is that one entrance where they were walking in.
Or the hole from above.
You and I could probably
Oh, yeah.
take out one set of guards quiet.
I bet we could
Maybe.
Are they wearing helmets? Were they wearing helmets?
Yes.
You could probably take out one guard quiet.
So I've been able to take out the guards because you guys have done 80 to 90% of their hit points each time, and I get the final kill. It may not seem like it, but I don't do a lot of damage.
Okay. From my
Now,
perspective,
you are a master assassin.
suddenly an arrow comes through their forehead, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
oh, well,
I
that's...
have killed many rats.
They just named it Kerchunk.
And like I said, there's maybe 15, 16 slaves amongst the farm field.
I mean, I might be able to cause a distraction with them if that thinks you guys will help, but that could just make them a lot more alert.
Yeah.
or
Does your
cause
cat
panic.
glow?
No, it's a regular cat.
Mm.
I would
You
think
make it glow?
no,
Kind of a spellcaster already.
If you
I'm
light
not.
it on fire first.
not a spellcaster.
Oh, I've got oil.
I was just thinking just unlocking one of the shackles.
Well, you're invisible?
I'm gonna
think we
stealth
can
up
do
the
it.
wall.
Okay. Give me a climb
Here you
check.
go, Matt.
Chaos.
Me?
He's not as bad as the elf in order to get
Yeah,
up
no
there.
problem. You climb up to the you climb up the side, look over.
Yeah, I get up there.
Okay.
I'm gonna just kind of find a hole to hide in because I want to watch.
Okay. Just keep it. Just observe the place.
I have
Okay.
my sling out. Sorry.
Okay.
A bullet just ready in case.
You
and I
go.
are
You
more
go
of,
crouch down behind some of the boxes, just to the
Hammer
left of the
and
where the
everything
area
else
is,
type
where you
thing.
where you have some cover.
So if we go over.
As you're watching, you see a couple of the slaves. They're hauling something out of the field, and heading over towards the hole where the group is.
Would they be confident enough that they would just send? If I were to go up there,
I was wondering if you're going to tell us. Well, you would have told us.
if I were to go up there and draw attention, would they be confident enough that
So-
they could take me that they wouldn't go get others?
Are
So
they
absolutely.
are they taking like? I'm gonna look at their hands. Are they
Okay.
taking the food stuff, or are they taking like leaves and shit like that?
In this case,
Debris?
it looks like they're dragging a body. As you watch, they approach the edge of the field,
Mhm.
which is maybe,
So they're not all shackled together.
they're not shackled together. Their legs are shackled with themselves, so they can't run and be very quick.
Okay.
So 2 of them working together are dragging some sort of a body. Think it might be human. They get to the edge of the field, which is maybe 5 yards or so away from the hole. As they reach the edge of the hole, one of them pulls out what looks like a garden hoe and starts hacking up the body. They rip it to shreds, dismember it in several cases. The other one, as pieces are torn off of it, throws it back into the field. And then after maybe a minute or so, they look at it, haul the rest of the carcass over, and toss it over into the hole.
That's
Those were just very torsos.
that's
You
fucking
guys
early.
down below, you hear some movement up above you, and then very suddenly a body splashes into the muck next to you. It looks like it's been gnawed to pieces by some large animal.
Is it human or dwarf?
Human.
So I'm over by the crates then.
Mhm.
I'm gonna start kind of looking into the crates and everything.
Okay. Has a variety of miscellaneous tools, a lot of food predominantly this or this black corn, stashed into what looks like moldy straw, cloth, cloaks, bunch of shackles, things like that. Basically, all sorts of miscellaneous things. Doesn't look like it's very organized. It looks like this is basically all the leftovers that they've just been collecting here.
These cloaks, do they look like they would be beneficial in stealth?
They don't look like they're magical. They do look like the same cloaks and clothing that all the slaves seem to be wearing.
All slaves?
Yes. All of them are dressed in these raggedy cloaks and so forth.
I'll gather up a handful of them.
Okay.
Stealth back over to the hole.
Okay.
I'll toss them down
Toss
to
a
the group.
bundle to them. Okay.
And I'll make sure I had enough for everybody.
Yeah, I assume Andy catches them or somebody does. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, they smell like they haven't been washed in a good year or two
We've been
in
trudging
this
through
environment.
sewer systems.
Yeah, I mean you guys have all gone nose blind except for Lucky Thad.
How flammable?
What's that?
How flammable would they be?
How flammable would they? I don't know. You want to try to light one?
No.
Yeah, I go ahead and put mine on,
How big of a destruction would be a field catching fire?
and then
If it's flammable.
if you're still hanging over the edge there,
And
Mhm.
it's loud, I'm trying to burn it.
are we clear? Well, what the hell am I waiting for? Hurry up! Do your thing.
I
Until
go
they,
back over to the
until
pile.
they also wonder why the field started catching on fire.
Patience running out.
I understand. I go back over the crates. Is there anything else that
Patience is already put
you said is some
We'll take
random
them all in
equipment?
1 minute.
It's not. It's random. The closest you would say is it's random junk
Mm-hmm.
and collections of food.
This is like a perfect Leroy Jenkins sausage fest.
Okay.
I would love to just
So what sort of thing are you looking for?
Like
I
maybe
guess?
some more rope or something.
Sure, there's lots of rope.
combat with
All right. I grab a bundle of the rope and
Okay. I mean, it's
I take it over the edge. Like
not in the greatest condition, but yeah, there's plenty of that sort of stuff.
I'll drop one end over the edge and
Okay.
go over and see if I can fucking tie it to something
Okay.
and tie it off. And give them something to help crawl up.
Okay.
I climb up.
My feet are in the
I'm
ground.
tired of look what it's one of those stupid black stalks is on the other end.
I'm under the mud.
It would have been enough to carry me.
Yeah, he ties it to one of those bushes.
Yep.
So,
Wait a
is
while,
this like a
He tells you have that old.
is this like a two-hand crawl up, or
It's a climb of about 15 feet. It's worked stone, but again, it's not a hard climb. It's not like it's a smooth wall. It's easy to climb with the rope, without a rope, whatever. You can climb up without much difficulty. Again, you've got the same basic chances of whether you're going to fall and make some noise.
is it dry around here?
No, definitely not.
Nothing's dry here.
We're needed from poo.
I'm gonna watch the patrols and the guards, right?
Mhm.
And I'm gonna keep my sling ready. And if any of them start coming towards where we're at,
Mhm.
I'm gonna hit one of the slaves with. I'm gonna pick one of the slaves out. And I'm just gonna be aiming at him, just waiting. And if my peripheral vision sees anybody coming towards us, I'm gonna kill one of the slaves with a
Okay.
rock.
Okay. You keep an eye on them. Like I said, the guards that are in the room seem to be. The impression you get is they're more bored than anything else. They're sitting here fairly idle. They're keeping an eye on the slaves that are working,
Mhm.
but it doesn't seem like they're that concerned about the slaves doing anything.
That's
Okay.
fine. The idea is just to create a distraction.
Understood. Yeah, they don't really patrol. They're mainly just looking out. Like I said, every so often, maybe every 10 minutes or so, something falls from the roof and splats into the middle of the field. And when that happens, the guards seem a little bit excited. You're observing them, and the group's trying to figure out, okay, what's your next move? In the distance, you hear the bells chime 9.
Okay.
Okay. When it does, the guys in the field, the slaves, look fearful and almost panicky. Okay. The guards let out a squeal-like cheer and wave their halberds in the air like they're excited about something.
So,
We need to make. I lean over and just. We need to make this happen. Whatever we're doing now.
I have an idea.
My cloak's on.
Go ahead, George.
What's up, George?
Do we want to go up there in stealth? Because I have the way to just go up there and stealth and have everyone go there. I've mentioned it several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
Absolutely, dude.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Then I'll
I am
I'll
putting-
climb back up up the rope or whatever.
Fall off from my hand.
Okay.
My idea was just gonna wait till they go to fill the body, throw the scan stays in, and then just kind
Is
of
this a spell or a
till the guards.
miracle you got?
Escape
Yeah,
stays
yeah.
in.
Miracle of teleport.
No, it's not teleport. I mean, I'm going to stealth into the field a little bit because it is a relatively short range thing.
Okay, so you're going to go actually into the cornfield.
Yeah.
Okay. In the cornfield itself, you don't have much visibility.
Okay.
Because it's as thick as a cornfield.
Okay. That's
So in the rows and everything, so you have plenty of concealment there. You can hear the slaves, so unless you specifically want to go near them, they're oblivious to you as well. They don't seem to care, or at least be aware.
my goal is to use that.
Okay. Okay, and you're trying to do that on one of the.
One of the shackles,
Okay,
or as many as the shackles as I can get. Like maybe
Okay.
if there's like
go for it.
a combination of them by a plant trying to do it.
Okay.
the whole building, every shackle.
What's my goal?
Go ahead and guess it.
Oh, God, I gotta get my glasses.
There we go.
Nice.
I got
Okay.
3 of them.
So a couple of them are carrying a body over past your area. As they do so, you issue a small prayer to Renaud, and the shackles fall off of their legs. The two of them, for a moment, don't even realize it. Then they stop, look at each other, and both of them look at the nearest guards. They start whispering to each other in their language. Do you speak Skittish?
No.
Okay, or Queekish?
No.
Okay. After a moment, one of them bends down and takes a bite of the body, and starts chewing on it. The other one crouches down and starts stealthing towards the southern entrance.
Can I create? Is there like a tool or something like that nearby? Because my goal is to get the attention of one of the guards, but like
Okay.
obviously not the attention toward me, but the Skaven to like put them in panic.
There's no tools. There looks like a leg bone in the dirt next to you. You want to throw something?
Still a shoe on it.
Do you want me to do something?
Well, I'm not in communication range of you.
Don't worry.
He's in the cornfield right now.
I'm actively in the cornfield, so.
Now you see him
Ready?
disappear into the. See the two Skaven. One of them's making their way, trying to be stealthy across the room, heading past the boxes at this point.
So we climbed up at this point.
Nope.
No,
Okay, because
I'll
you
throw-
moved us.
I'll throw
I
my-
moved you into the room. That was it.
I'll throw like a leg bone or a piece of corn or whatever at a nearby guard.
Get their attention. Okay. You throw it over there. They react to the sound, look up, and with a loud screech, they spot the one that's sneaking across to the door, and immediately give chase. That one completely panics and takes off at a run. He manages to make it to the tunnel, where he disappears into it with the guards close at him after him. Before you hear some screeches inside the tunnel. The other one that was chewing on the body turns and just slinks back into the cornfield, picks up his tools and returns to work.
As soon as I hear that, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I assume it's combat, and I
Okay.
start climbing.
Okay.
I'll follow there.
Okay, yeah, you hear a bunch of rattled movement, like running and so forth, followed by some yelling. So,
Okay, which way did the you said they were going south?
Yes, to the
So-
southern door.
Which is
this way.
okay.
Southwest.
Southwest. All right. I thought
Southwest,
we were the southern tunnel.
Yeah, they're not going through the.
Oh, that's why I was going to fucking murder that damn slave.
Or the poop tunnel.
Make sure I put on a cloak as soon as I get out. I'm gonna attempt to.
Okay.
If it's necessary to kill, fine. But
Okay,
it's
so
not.
you guys climbing out with the intent to stay hidden or draw your weapons and engage in combat.
My intent is to engage in combat unless these two are not engaged. Like I don't know what the hell's going on.
As soon as you reach the top, you see off to your left some Skaven chasing each other. No sign of him. No sign of the halfling.
Again, I told you exactly what I was doing.
Right.
Before I went down, I told you I was going to unlock something.
I understand
that was a
that.
distraction.
I understand that. That doesn't mean I know or don't know if you're being attacked. If I see them running, but I don't see him, I'm
You see
gonna
two guards currently chasing a Skaven slave
okay.
who's trying to escape out the tunnel to the left. The other 4 guards seem to be enjoying the sight more than anything else.
I would immediately throw the cloak on and hunker down like
Okay.
a Skaven.
So the cloak covers your stuff fairly easily. I mean, it's big, it's ratty, it smells absolutely horrible. But otherwise, no major issue.
I'll do the same.
I look at you and I see
Skaven
I'm
are
getting those two.
like human plus size,
You
right?
take
They're
it.
big.
They're human size.
Just
They're
human.
they're not particularly big,
I think
and they
you need
vary.
to go for one.
Okay,
so
you
like
need
if
to
I
go for
put on a
2.
cloak,
Hopefully our support will kill
Do
them.
could
While
I
we hold
try to
hold
pass
them.
off as a Skaven, or will I
Sure.
just be way too small?
No, you'd look like a sickly Skaven.
I can fault because I'm like only 3.5 feet tall.
Understood, but the Skaven. Well, you have the unnoticed ability of a halfling, so you're less.
Oh, we're actually using that now.
Oh yeah, you always have.
Oh, okay. I didn't
That's
know.
why those 3 halflings are always with you.
Shh, we don't talk about them, okay?
No, I mean you have a natural tendency just to be overlooked anyways.
Okay, that's fine.
But if they focus in on you or you draw attention, then yeah, you would look like a sickly Skaven. Might not be a great thing to be, anyways, as a Skaven, but it's not that unusual. The Skaven vary from 4 foot to 6.5 foot, just like people do.
Okay, then yeah, when I see him put his cloak on, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Okay.
So I think that's the plan
Matt and I
now.
are splitting towards separately to the other 2 groups of 2. Like we're going to
Okay.
continue trying to look like we're the sickly Skaven, working on whatever, trying to match up with the rest of them, but work our way towards them.
Okay.
I'm sticking with him.
I am going to, if this is okay, stay near the exit, like entrance that we came.
Okay.
Sorry, and like conceal myself with the cloak. I also have another cloak if that matters. And like hide in the dirt and have my crossbow ready as soon as they attack to fire at the, let's say one of the ones that he's fighting.
Okay. So the main concern is most of the center of the room is filled with this cornfield, so you're not going to have line of sight
Yeah,
to them.
that's what.
If you try to stay at the
Okay.
southern exit, you're
Right.
not gonna
I understand what you're trying to do.
It's not.
I understand.
I
It's
can't
not.
really tell that. From the
That's why I'm explaining it. Okay, so consider that big circular room dominated by cornfield. Okay, now you can see movement on the other side. It's not super tall, but they at least have cover and limited visibility as a result. So my understanding is Andy and William are going to go left or right.
Right.
Okay, you guys are going to head off to the right, and Matt and that's it is going to go to the left.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll
So
go.
this
I'll
would
go
be
with
con-
Matt then.
Okay. So
This
you
would be
sneak up to Matt
considered
with Matt.
soft cover, as in vegetation.
Yeah, it's,
Yes, plus
it's
range.
concealing though.
Plus, right.
Yeah. So okay, and your intent is to what?
Get close enough. Try to
Get within
deceive
charge
them
range
long
and
enough.
charge them.
Yeah, get close enough so one movement. So I don't have my shield out
Okay.
because I mean that's obvious.
I've got my shield.
But I have my
Shield, sword, cloak. You know, I'm trying to stay down low in the
Okay.
corn.
We're getting
You know.
close enough that we can attack without being.
yeah.
reactive.
I have my weapon, and
Okay.
I'm trying to
And
make it
you
look.
see them emerge from the hole, putting cloaks on, and I mean they honestly look at first glance like slaves.
Okay.
Okay. At least they're making a passable attempt at it.
I am a slave.
What did you want to do from your position?
Skaven, no.
You see the halflings stalk out and
I
join
got
Matt,
rock on my back.
and Ben lays down in the dirt.
And I assume I can't get to them to communicate at all. So
You can get to one of them. One of the groups. They seem to be splitting up in 2 different directions.
Besides unlocking the shackles, did you actually have a plan beyond that?
we leave.
I thought they all just ran out that door.
2 of them did. 2 of the guards and 1 of the slaves. Now there's several
And the
others.
other 4 guards are watching that exit.
But yeah, they're watching in that direction. Yeah, and there's another like a dozen plus slaves amongst the area that all appear to be Skaven, if that's relevant.
I would like to make it to where we don't have to run back through this area and
wish I
worry
knew how to
about
pick locks.
So all we need to do is we could just go straight out the gate then. I mean,
That was my
Gotcha.
idea.
That appears to have been what he was trying to communicate as far as his plan.
Because there's like 20 plus Skaven in here.
right.
Even if we say kill the guards or whatever, the rest of them are, like, from what our experience is, freak out, get scared, and we don't even know if they're loyal or not.
Right.
either.
Well, I mean, even if we killed them, I'm just saying they can't run. Other
Yeah.
than the ones you unlocked. Other than
Well,
that.
My also concern also is there's guards that come in here routinely to get food. All of a sudden they see all the dudes dead,
Have they come in routinely?
or all of them
Yes.
missing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah. Then I would, if and I understand if I would have understood his plan. I'm a dummy though, so I mean,
I'm not.
I thought it was a distraction. So
For
we
us to
could,
take the guards.
yeah. So I mean,
That's because you guys are warriors and they're thinking like,
Right.
we must fight.
I want
He's
to
a rogue thinking we must sneak.
All I heard was I'll distract him and I kill.
I want to kill the beastman.
well, I know you do, but there's a giant
And
can
I-
at the top, which
And I think, I'm assuming here, I'm thinking your thought here is, as long as you can survive without setting off an alarm,
Right.
the better, because you know this place has hundreds
right,
of Skaven.
and we'll be
If
overrun.
they become aware of you,
yeah.
That's kind of my whole point to killing the guards, in the hopes that the slaves did not rise up and fight us as well, was that you have, as far as you told me, 1 exit. That 1 exit already had 2 Skaven plus a slave go out it. 4 others watching it, yes, undercover and stuff, but they're watching that way. And others are coming in from that way to eat and back out, correct?
My hope was for the distraction was you guys getting up above the hole to be in the room because
That's what we are.
stuff like yes. What I'm thinking now is because I mean you guys are completely concealed, looks like Skaven stuff like that. We hide here till the other guards show up, and then we follow like the next patrol out, or something like that. Because all of the debris and stuff like that, they only knew he was escaping till I drew the attention to it.
Gotcha.
But now they'll be
But
alert.
none of us would. Yeah, but see, that's all
They'll-
stuff
they'll
that
be
there's no
alert.
way.
Yes, I'm aware, but I'm just telling you guys my plan for what it is. You guys were arguing. Do you even have a plan of what was going on? I do.
Gotcha.
I love watching you get frustrated because every time I make a fucking plan like this, it goes tits up. And everybody's like, oh well, Thad! And I'm just like, now you know how it feels.
It's the overall thing of this character is really bad in everyone's idea when he's actually decent and that sort of stuff like that. I never get to use the abilities for it.
Right. That's why I
So-
was happy to let you go up and scout and all that good stuff.
Dude, I'm on your
So-
side on this.
So I'm happy to go with the plan of getting out. But
I don't like
If that was
Can
the
we-
plan that was communicated to us,
Yeah.
I would absolutely go through with it.
okay,
Yeah.
and that's fine.
It was not
So-
communicated to us.
And
So
I don't like leaving.
you
guards
said
out.
you could go unlock. You absolutely said as a distraction, and that's where it ended.
I don't like leaving guards or.
I'm flexible as
thought-
far as the
I
discussion.
thought the discussion was previously we were going to stealth out. I did not know the discussion was we were going to go kill the guards because that wasn't discussed either.
You're right. It was not.
Yeah, but I understand your frustration. I agree with you. But with the retarded way this group plays, the modus operandi is face first into every situation. So temper your expectations because we are morons. But I think we should sneak out of here. I don't want to. I don't want to
Especially
alert
as
the
older
guards.
players.
Yeah.
I, Andy's character just
in
play.
all
You
seriousness-
role play your guy that way. Even
Andy's
I think
character,
it's
Andy's
just
character
so
ain't
frustrating.
frustrating.
I took a 20 hit off the
more
bat.
forceful in your delivery of
I'm good
your
with it.
plan.
It's
I
fun.
completely, I agree. But it's the case of every single time I start to speak, I constantly get interrupted by 3 other people. So I was frustrated. I said,
Oh,
okay,
I-
we're just doing this.
Dude, it happens to all of us, so I understand your frustration. We all get talked over. So,
Okay.
why don't we take a moment,
Okay.
let you explain your plan, so that we can enact the plan as your vision is. Right, and none of us will talk over you. We'll just shut up and listen.
I basically already said the plan. I mean, that's correct. It wasn't communicated, so you guys do whatever. Kill the guards or whatever. I already just discussed the plan right now.
No,
And
it,
Out
if
of
we're
character.
and
So-
what-
if we're allowed to react to it,
yes,
cool.
Okay.
I'm perfectly fine because your statement was I go down there and explain the plan to them. Now, whether or not you covered everything or people misunderstood, that's separate. Now that we understand that they misunderstood, we adapt. We go forward. Now that you understand, if you still choose to go kill the guard, that's on you.
Man, that would be a dick move after all this.
I agree, but that's player choice.
Everyone looks
That would
over
be
and I'm
George
standing with
reaching
the lid
across
covered.
the table.
That would say
Finally snaps him.
that'd be George saying, "I use my miracle against you."
So are we wanting to stay over by the entrance and continue to pretend to work then? Is that... And that way we're as close to the entrance as possible when those other guards come in, but still out of sight?
Yeah.
I mean, that way we can all be over that way.
Mhm.
Okay.
I would like to point out, George, nobody told me the plan.
And
I'm just following the group.
And what is the plan after this? We get out of this area with Skaven Slave disguises.
Right.
There will be more patrols. There are obviously patrols patrolling, doing their job. What happens when we encounter those patrols? Do we kill them then? Or do we try to hide? We will inevitably get found in that manner and then just kind of...
Well, that's impossible to plan because we have 0 information going forward.
It's just
So,
how do we react? Do we go back? Or do we go
It's a
forward?
valid concern because if the plan as a group is to stealth through this as long as possible, then we need to all understand that, because then the path forward, that will affect decisions. Like if we run across other patrols, things like that. If the plan is just to get out of this room and kill whatever we run across and maybe hide the bodies, things like that, that also needs to be discussed.
I'm just saying that's nothing we can plan for because every single situation is going to be situational to the room. We can't plan for that.
Then all I'm going to say is temper your expectations. So I understand frustration, but if things go badly,
I was frustrated because this is a thing we can plan for, and we did plan. I'm perfectly fine if we go to the next room and then Andy just pulls his sword and goes charging. If
I would
that's,
never. But
it's the case of we plan for this, and then immediately, without any, like, the plan went okay-ish.
yeah, I went 10% of the way. I get
But-
it, man.
Well, and I think the question that you're trying to ask is, if you run into a patrol, which you're bound to do, is the plan for the group hold until it's not, unavoidable, or jump the guy immediately?
Yes.
Because the warriors kind of want to know that.
well, yeah. If it's stealth and hold, and then if we get found,
Right.
jump out and let's go.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm cool with that.
if they spot you, obviously everybody's going to fight for their life. If they don't spot you and one Skaven wanders by, do we slit his throat or do we hold our action?
And there's the aspect of we're going into this tunnel. If this fight, if it all goes bad, we are now surrounded by creatures when we could take this opportunity and potentially kill guards. And the only tunnel that leads out will be the one they're patrolling. So if we see guards coming this way, they won't get past us.
What
Because-
if there's a junction just around the corner?
Yeah, we don't know that.
And
kind of
this is really only 15 or so creatures when we know there's hundreds in here. So I don't think leaving 15 behind us is going to make that big of a difference if the alerts happen.
I mean, the other difference is a couple of us just scout the whole complex while the rest just sit in the tunnel.
Yeah.
But that's going to be maybe a session of half the players just sitting here.
And it's incredibly time consuming.
That's
We are on
exactly
a
what he
time-
just said.
We're on a
No, he
time
means
limit.
yeah. He means the
mean,
time
game
of day.
time. It's all
that
time.
game time too, but
Yeah.
In game time, not off game.
So let's execute the plan to the fruition of our knowledge.
My thought along that thought, not to derail further, but functionally, what I wouldn't take it as approach of half the group stays here, half the group scouts out the entire complex. I would view it as half the group stays here, the other half scouts out the next chamber. If it's safe, the whole group comes up, and then you repeat with the next chamber.
Yeah.
So you're only scouting a little bit ahead.
We keep finding.
Okay.
That's pretty much what we were doing.
We're going to do
Currently,
too.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
but it's different because everybody's still sort of involved, but as opposed to like you said, the concern is half the group sitting around while George does the scouting. Not very exciting for most people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sort of is a compromise between the two. I understand there's challenges here. Obviously, as soon as you set off an alarm, you're going to be in a world of pain, and that's where you're valid. You got to have an escape route. Now, giving into that already and simply fighting the guards and then face tanking your way through the entire complex,
Gonna be a problem.
probably not a great idea either.
All right.
Okay.
Do you want to scout ahead with me?
I'm just going ahead.
Okay.
All right. You and I will scout, 20, 30 yards in front of them?
We're going to still follow you guys' plan, though, right?
Yes.
Wait for the guys to
Wait
come
for
in.
the guys to come back
out, and follow
Yeah,
them out.
you-
and leave.
As I understand it, you guys put on these cloaks and pretend to be Skaven. Leave the guards alone, etc. And when the guards return and go back to business as normal, then you're going to move on as best you can. Is that the idea? Okay. So I'm going to group people up only from a consistent means of moving people. Okay.
Sweet cheese is good.
Yes. Okay. And we will adapt. And my understanding is the halfling and the rogue are going to be the ones scouting, or do you specifically want to scout on your own?
I'm fine with scouting with that one.
Okay. So a few minutes later, the two guards that pursued the one come back. They're accompanied by a couple of additional guards who are dragging a recently deceased Skaven slave. They drag him out over by the cornfield and make some screeching speech to the slaves amongst them. Throw him down, and you see the one that was unshackled and a couple of the other ones come over and harvest the body, throwing his innards and pieces into the field. They reshackle the one that doesn't have anything on his legs after beating him severely. And then they dispose of the body down the hole.
I would assume we use that as our distraction to get the hell out, right?
You got that poor guy killed.
Correct, he's Beastman.
Okay. Throughout the time,
Don't you have any
they functionally, the guards, don't pay any attention to you guys or the rest, or note the fact that there's 20 slaves in the room now for some reason.
Half of them giant.
I mean, every so often they look in your direction and they screech at you, and otherwise just focus on it. Their attention is on the dead one and the one that somehow doesn't have his shackles on, and otherwise don't seem to pay any attention.
Skinny ankles.
That's right.
Okay. The two extra guards then turn, stop by the supply cache, grab some food, and head out of the area.
All right. Well, we're gonna follow them out, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys head down to this area. Okay. The first two of you that are scouting, you move down the tunnel and into a large room. There is the guards that are leaving are heading out this tunnel over here. There is another tunnel that leads this direction. That this room has more boxes and supplies, but doesn't seem to have much traffic going south. Doesn't seem to be anybody else here in this room.
South.
Yep.
South it is.
Okay. And I'm assuming you guys are going to stick back one room behind them, or are you going to wait for them to return?
Then we say a room behind them. So like if the next room, are you guys going to come back to just quick report and let us know?
Before we go forward, I'm going to tell them come in and hide in the boxes. Hide in the area, the boxes.
Okay, and that's fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
that makes sense.
I'm assuming before you guys are looking into the room, seeing what's there, rather than just walking into the middle. So if there's nothing visibly dangerous there, then you walk in or you can call back to them and have them come out. Okay. So you guys move into the room and take cover and hide. The other two of you head down here, where you see several other chambers. It looks like this section used to be workshops for dwarves. It's been looted and cleaned out. There's racks and other things like that, and a handful of broken and useless tools. But this looks like it was equipment storage at some point. Generally speaking, the place is relatively clean, although it's covered in dust and grime and so forth. But compared to most of the rest of the place, it's pretty clean. Looks like it's a series of chambers that heads further back with other storage.
Can I tell if this over here is like a balcony looking over the,
No, it's a tunnel.
Okay, so
If we get the clearance to go forward into that, which I'm hoping you guys, does it dead end? Is that what you said?
It goes further beyond the first two rooms.
I'll wait until we get up there.
So, I mean, do you guys want to call the group forward or
No.
explore further?
No, explore further.
Okay. Leads into a second section, very similar to the first, and then a section all the way in the back that comes to a dead end. Again, it looks like this place has been trashed and looted, but there's nothing of any value back here.
All right, head back. Yeah. We'll head back and just tell them this is a bunch of workshops. There's nothing in there.
Okay. While you guys are down in the passageway, a couple of Skaven enter the room from the side and head across the room, heading towards the farms. The four of you give me a stealth check.
what the?
Should we have stayed? Never mind.
Is this urban?
Sure.
Okay.
Any bonuses
Urban.
for hiding boxes or anything? Having actual cover to hide behind?
I'll apply it if
It's
it's
agility
appropriate.
based.
It is. Yeah, I'm gonna use a fortune point on that.
Okay.
That should be my 2,
Okay.
not 3.
Stealth tests in rural environments. This is not rural. All right.
Yeah,
Versus 7.
I just
How's it going to 7? Oh, it's giving me a minus 30. I'm not moving, so would my plate leggings and stuff, would that still be a negative then? I mean,
That would be a stalking effect, so I'm fine with no penalty on that.
okay. So only
Because you're just hiding.
It's just a minus 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say my question would have been something similar. Is that if we hear movement, I wouldn't even have myself
Hide
up
behind
where I'm
logs.
watching them because
Yeah,
I'm
you're
going to
hiding
assume
down,
them.
yeah.
I'd just be like,
Yeah, I'm assuming you're hiding, and I'm applying a modifier for that.
okay.
Okay.
Technically,
should be-
if our armor is not modified, I got a -1.
Should be minus 2 for me.
Okay. So they come in. They don't seem to care or notice you guys, and wander past into the other room.
Ouch.
Well, no, you use a fortune point.
Yeah, but still.
-7 is a big difference from a -3.
The great part is you're one of the stealthiest of us four.
no,
I think, yeah, you are.
no. I have 27 without any modifiers.
It's better than me.
You have heat plate armor.
My urban is 37.
Okay, well I have a
So-
23.
Okay. Shortly thereafter, the two of them return to the room.
There was
Should be back any second.
We're gonna have to kill one of these patrols, man.
Okay.
No, I mean, not now. We're making it one room, and the fucking patrol goes
Well,
by.
you guys went in search of a lot of rooms.
You were gone for minutes.
Makes sense.
I mean, it's not every 5 seconds there's a patrol, but
you don't
yeah,
understand. The knife is humming.
I'm still like, they should be back any second.
All right,
So
I'll
you guys just gonna hide here then?
Let them
Okay.
come back by.
Okay. The two of you give me a stealth roll then.
Can I make an estimation on the duration between each patrol?
It doesn't seem the numbers that you've seen so far. It seems random. It doesn't seem like they're patrolling. It seems like they're getting hungry.
Yep. I want a snack.
I'll relay that to the group.
Great rolls, guys. Still better than,
Yeah.
So.
Okay. They come back by again. Either don't care, don't see you, whatever. They just walk on by, and head out the room to the east.
Alright.
You
Start
guys,
following them.
you guys go there and come back to us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're hiding in
was
the room.
twice as stealthy as you in your armor.
Ooh.
You have a 7, I got a 13.
No, I have a 37.
And I'm talking about in armor.
In armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me change.
It's because I got belly dancer coins all around my armor.
I've
That's
actually,
where my gold went.
I played a barbarian one time that we were like, the party was like, alright, we're gonna stealth in here. And I'm like,
Okay, so you guys
I
head
purposely
through
hung
this tunnel.
bells and stuff off me.
Narrow alcove to the right with a broken dwarven statue. Looks like it's been heavily defaced and cracked by various tools and so forth. You lead into the next room up here. As you peek around the corner, there is a couple of Skaven in the room, just chatting amongst themselves.
Do they look like slaves or guards?
Guards.
Are they eating?
Yeah. There is a passageway off to the right, which, at least from the geography, that's the section that that went over the culvert.
What if, hear me out, what if we grab like a crate of food and we carry it like we're slaves? We could probably just walk all over this fucking place.
Okay.
They don't give a shit about the slaves. And they're having them do all kinds of menial tasks. Here, I mean, maybe. Act like you belong. It's gotten me into a lot of places. So I go back to the room.
Okay.
Right. There's guards in the next room. Hear me out. And I relay the plan of grab some shit, bend over, act like a slave, and just we can all walk. Maybe.
Okay.
Or we get into melee combat and alert the whole fucking place.
I love the plan. I don't think we're going to have an option to get by. Because at least we have the cornfield to keep us hidden. In this one, we've got Mr. Full Plate, Full Chain.
Giant
6
rock on the
foot.
back.
Yeah,
If
6
we-
foot something.
What if we wait
Okay,
for
me
them
and him
to
could get back.
Yes.
What if we wait for them to go back up to the cornfield where they keep going? And that's
think it's the
when we
same
go?
I don't think it's the same two guys.
I don't know.
That's
They
also
look the same. I mean,
corn slaves.
I think this
Racist.
is Bob and Frank.
Corn slaves that the second they tried to leave were murdered.
Yeah.
No,
While you guys have been hiding here, there's a large section of blood in this room from where the slave was killed.
Oh.
Then the only thing might be like we don't have shackles on our feet.
I have one set of manacles.
start looking through the junk.
Hey,
I got one set
Yeah,
of manacles.
there were shackles in the piles.
we know. Hear me out on this one. We know what's behind us as far as how many we're going to draw this way from noise that way. We don't know what's around the corner. You said there's another passageway, right?
Huh?
If we fight them in that room, it's going to echo down that way. We don't know what we're bringing to us. We need to draw these two guys back. You said it's empty down that way, right? Somehow draw them all the way down this passageway. Just those two.
Oh, can your cat like? They
Actually,
your
And
cat.
we kill them back here where there's nothing.
That's
You
not a
know,
terrible
You'd
idea.
also trick them into thinking we're a
I
Skaven
like
slave that tried to escape and
But it-
draw them down.
The only person that can do that is him.
What?
Or
And he's too slow. They'll catch him. Remember how fast those things are? They caught all of us.
Oh yeah, they're fucking as fast as my dog.
I think your cat's the best thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we
So
need to
why
go
don't we go? All of us go down
Yes,
into
we
one
all
of the
go down
alcoves.
all the way down. I haven't been down that way yet. I don't know what the hell's down that way.
Okay.
And
You
we'll-
guys are clear to move yourself down there.
So some of us in the first section, it looks like, and then,
Yeah, keep going.
but then when they pass that first section to follow the cat, that's when we go back to the back.
I agree.
Kill him from behind.
Yeah, like let them pass us and go down there. I don't know how many spaces there are down here.
Maybe the second section then, because the first section is still too
Or
close.
do you want them to
Yeah.
get caught?
I'm gonna hide in the first.
Yeah, we still
section.
want them to be. So why don't you and I wait back here, let them pass us, following the cat down in there, and then we block that path. They can't get back out.
I'll do the same.
Who's this?
Me.
Stone guy? Alright, who's this?
That's me.
I don't know where our
That's
priest went.
So I'm up here. I do need to be somewhere safe because this is not a thing I can
You're
dispel.
going to be all the way down. I'll go in there with you.
Okay.
And then I'll
Because
wait.
I don't get a choice to dispel it. It lasts however long it lasts.
And I'll wait back here with Tombstone guy, and then he and I'll make sure that they can't come back this way. We'll pin them in.
And I will make sure they can't make. I mean, all we have to do. Hey, engage them as soon as they get to. I mean, as soon as they pass this edge.
Right when they get there, that's where we're gonna
Slam
block. Yeah, we're coming straight in.
Yep, flail ready.
I'm gonna stay in that room as a warning or anything like that. I'm gonna hide in there.
So-
They probably won't see me
How many are we
in case
trapping?
more come. You know what I mean?
Probably at least two. Probably, I think his cat will probably bring two, at least if there's more. But like I don't know, you can see through cat's eyes, those
They're
right?
gonna be like, why the hell is there a clean
So-
white cat in here?
As you go through, if there's more than two, like you got to meow meow twice or something.
Got it.
Meow meow twice.
One meow for two, two meows for four.
Well, that's too many numbers already for me. There's 50. Let's go.
So it's actually
If you do what?
just a meow purr.
The halfling stealths out the building.
Alert us somehow.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are going to conceal yourself where you're currently at.
Yeah.
You're going to summon your cat,
Mhm.
and then wander over there. And your intent is to get the attention of the two rats, and have them chase you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
Cast
see.
your
One,
spell.
two. Let's see. I just want to see distance.
Yep.
I need to be.
Granted.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
I need to be there. If I'm gonna.
That'd been funny if you couldn't cast it.
Fortune
If I'm
points.
gonna
And the
Sorry,
cat
I'm
picks.
not trying to make you move
It's
100
fine. That's not great.
Okay. You set yourself down. You issue a
I
prayer,
need the base.
and pull out a little white kitten from your pocket.
Oh, for us to
And
be distant.
it quickly it jumps out, meows at everybody, and then it runs off down the hallway.
I'm sorry, you have a pocket cat?
Yes.
Aww.
Okay. And you're trying to get the two Skaven that
Heard
you
that
just
several
saw
times.
that was blocking your path?
Yeah.
Okay. So you head over there. You walk into the hallway. They initially don't see anything or don't really respond. And then one of them spots you, turns and looks at you, licks his lips a little bit. They spread out a little bit, getting their halberds ready to attack you.
I'll start wandering down the passageway.
Just start walking back.
Yeah.
Okay. You hear them hastily walk up behind you. I assume you're going to run, so you're just ahead of them. Okay. You hear you see the cat walk up to the entrance of the passageway, pauses for a moment, flips its tail, and then dashes 15 feet forward into the room as two rats scramble into the room chasing it. Give me a stealth roll.
They're gonna bonus for hiding. Okay.
Which room
This
is
would
he
be
in?
really unfortunate for me to.
Which room is he in?
He's in that first room.
With the boxes?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. The cat pauses for a moment, tempting the two rats, and then dashes down the southern passageway, followed rapidly by the two Skaven.
Rapidly.
The cat's just staying just in front, just out of their reach, as it comes around, and you guys hear them approaching, not being very stealthy whatsoever. And they get to. Where are we?
Tables are turned.
What's the name of them?
Cat versus rat. Rat versus cat now.
Name of Skaven?
Stormvermin.
Storm Vermin, that's it.
Well, how do you know that?
Because he's seen the pictures.
Clan rat.
Red Rat, Storm
I like that
Vermin,
better.
Plague Monk.
Scratchy, itchy.
Okay. You said as soon as they come around the corner, you guys wanted to jump them?
No,
No,
we
it's
want them-
when they got to here.
Yeah.
Okay. So they come moving down to here, chasing the cat, and then let me get everybody and add you to combat, which you presumably want to engage.
Yes.
Second boys.
And
Like, I'm kind of barely seeing you, so when you move is when I'll know that they're there. Or I know that the fight's.
I keep seeing my actual icon up at the top, and I keep thinking I'm in the next room. I'm like, oh,
Oh, I have to roll initiative.
Yep.
Is this gonna be the first time your character's been in combat?
Oh, yep.
This is gonna be interesting.
no, he's been in combat many times in his life.
oh
I'm
yeah,
sure
Oh,
it's
yes. Putty Scratchy.
I mean, he's already wounded.
Hey, somebody else I beat.
It's also not the first time
Hey,
being
you always beat me.
I know. No, I beat him too.
Okay. So we begin combat.
Initiative. Jesus.
Not all initiatives have been rolled.
Still not as good as an elf.
We're missing one.
Yeah.
Coleman hasn't rolled.
Oh, yep.
Nope. Maybe.
Okay. Now we can begin combat. Okay.
Perfect.
Round one. Begin. Finish him.
I also have another one. I don't know if it's active on this one. Yes. There we go.
This fight.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Well done.
I need the Mega Man music now.
I haven't set it up to actually play like a boss theme or whatever, but yes. Okay. So they react very quickly, but are surprised, so they lose their first action. So we go to Oswald.
Perfect. Well, the good news is I can only
How'd that go?
only move to charge. So
Yep.
we'll do that, and he gets his distance. Mine's a magic sword, but other than that, doesn't matter. So
You swing awkwardly at him. He attempts to parry.
That sounds intriguing. To help me understand what you're
Holy
You're
crap!
The fuck?
I didn't have that programmed.
yeah, his
Oh.
magical sword for distance.
Yeah, he beat you, blocking your strike. Since I rolled the 2 apparently.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
that's how this is gonna go.
What's up, Rata?
Do they have less armor in any specific location?
They have
Face.
Their nips.
they have no helmet, and no leg armor.
How much is cold shot again? Minus
20.
20? Okay, I'll do a cold shot for the head on the one B on the other side of the one Ozzy tried to hit.
Okay, he also has 10 points for cover.
What's the penalty for shooting into a group of 3?
It's not a group of 3 because that one's not engaged with the other one.
I assume.
Nope.
Okay. I don't understand that mechanic, but it's fine.
You got 9 foot back.
Oh well.
Wow.
Okay, you miss. Your shot goes wild, bouncing off the walls.
You
German.
guys suck.
Holy crap! You would have hit
I'll be
with an
here, sir.
87.
Gotcha.
No, he failed with an 87.
I know that, but he was at a
Not
minus
if you
20
roll like these guys.
because he
I
had
had
a
a
cold
plus.
shot.
I had a plus 20 for short range.
Oh, okay.
minus,
yeah.
minus 20 for cold shot and minus 10.
German, you hear combat break out in the other
I
room.
didn't know it was coming.
So I need to use the
Leaving a
measuring
comatose
tool.
priest, you move forward.
Stop making yourself up.
Absolutely. So first to there.
That sucks, Ben. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Can I make it to yes? The charge.
Okay.
You double your move to charge, right?
Yeah.
All right. Target him. Swing.
They lose by a lot.
Combat. Broadsword.
Okay.
I can't.
Hey.
Somebody hit! Yay!
Okay, you swing a lot more accurately as they
Yeah,
attempt to
they're
defend. You still hit him. Doing 10 points to the body. He takes 4.
Ouch! Holy crap!
Break him again, Joe.
Volker.
I'm gonna charge for one on the bottom.
Okay.
I assume no bonuses for outnumber.
Correct.
This would
It's
be
3 to
that-
2 now.
This would be a 2-on-1.
No, it's 3 to 2.
We're all engaged in a group.
Yeah. Now it's all one group because they are
Okay.
engaged.
Charge plus 20.
20. Yes.
Okay, it's been a while since I've made lead. With any quality.
I don't know. You're wizard melee.
With any quality.
Well,
I will beat you with my broken arm.
No!
Yeah, no, I'm using a fortune point on that.
Just remember this
You are?
happened, like all that
Take a
shit
picture of
talking
that
or
or
something.
Okay.
Or if it ever happens to us again, that's what you have to do.
Fine.
okay.
Because keep in mind,
If they're pairing, they receive a negative
Uh,
1.
I do want to point this out for what he said,
Okay.
is that when something is not engaged by other enemy, like he's not part of the fight at all. We've had it to where like you've been outnumbered, and since I wasn't engaged with one of those enemies, he was still outnumbered. Didn't matter that I was there. So that other ally is not engaged with either myself or him. So he's not aiding
So it's two
That's
different
what I
fights.
said.
It's two different fights. It's a 1-on-1 and a
a
2-on-1.
2-on-1. Yes. And we've had many of fights where we have had this exact situation where we could not help our ally because we were not engaging the enemies.
Now, if he moved here, then that would be the case.
I'm fine with you saying it's all groups as well. I just want to make sure we all understand that for future
Yep.
fights.
Okay.
Because it would be a change.
It would be.
I think a good idea just to implement in general
He
is
beat you by 2.
anyone in reach of each other's
That was with the
engagements, allies or enemies.
Whatever.
I mean, whether it is or isn't, he still beat you by 2. So, I
That
mean, if
would
it
be
wasn't,
an
then he
easy
would have
way to
beat you by
remember
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask is that with the long?
If
weapon?
it
Yeah.
includes,
It includes the length automatically in the, and it didn't. It
it
doesn't
didn't,
say
it didn't apply it with the
Yeah.
long.
I just want to make sure you knew I supported what you were saying.
when you're charging with it, William. Instead of adding like the plus 20 or whatever for the charge, click the charge because otherwise
Well, that's right. I had
it,
a
won't,
plus 20 per charge.
it won't include the impact then without it.
Ah,
2 more points of damage. I had a plus 20 for
because of
charge.
iron.
Okay.
Got it.
Darn it.
How would I go about doing that?
So when you would make your attack just plus the charge, it will give you a plus 10 and
I
one
see.
advantage. Just make sure after the word you get rid of your advantage.
Pullman, what would you like to do?
Do I hear anything around me? Can I-
In the
You
combat
hear
section?
muffled combat coming from the
Combat,
southern
yeah, you
passage.
do
It
that.
sounds like
Click
people
the
are
charge.
brawling.
But I can see them, right?
And it's going to give you.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going
Well,
to take a
I
cold
get it.
shot
I get it,
on
I
the
get
guy
it.
I
Okay.
have targeted.
Okay.
If I had somebody targeted, it probably would have done it.
That was bad.
Interesting.
Yep. And
I didn't even see that.
not a cold shot, but I'm going to target him.
Okay.
So I'll take the penalty, which is 10, 20.
There's according to the way we're looking. No, it's not a paired melee. If we're gonna follow the scope of our decision, this is 5 people.
Right.
So minus 30.
Okay, I asked this, and I'm not asking for any other reason to try to gain a benefit. Because my character views them as beastmen, not Skaven, because he has no reason to think they're Skaven.
So
Would they count as triggering heretic?
No.
I would argue
It
that
wouldn't
your guy
because,
would know they were Skaven because you were on the Skaven fighting line.
well,
yeah, he was on.
no, he
was
was
on the
he was
chaos
on a
picket
chaos picket line.
Oh, is it chaos?
But-
Okay.
Based on the group's testimony and everybody else, you know they're Skaven.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
Nice.
Okay, I hit him.
hit me.
Okay.
And the theory is we're arguing that Skaven aren't Beastmen Chaos.
They're not.
Okay.
Beastmen are a specific breed,
Okay.
depending on what your ability is.
I don't know
to
what
create
heretic is and stuff like that, but
Right.
one would argue that Skaven fall in that category.
I don't
My interpretation for what I don't know what the ability is.
called heretic,
It's called hatred heretic.
hatred, heretic.
It's hatred with a specialization in heretic.
Okay.
It'd be under the psychology version of
Yep, I'm looking at it. Yeah, heretics would be a religious basis.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
it. Cultists, stuff like that.
Yeah, any cultist like Matt would be a heretic.
Oh,
Yes.
sweet.
Anybody who's not a Sigmarite worshiper and has religious overtones.
I thought you had some type of
there's-
like anti.
I have the same thing.
Or anything
So
like
you two
that.
hate each other?
I've
Technically,
spent
we would
quite a
be at
few
war
boxes
fighting
of
each other to
heretics.
death.
Yeah.
That's not conducive to party cohesion.
Which is
They
why we
scratch
gloss
them.
over it from a game standpoint.
Me and him are
Well,
the exact opposite.
It's also why I specifically was like, I'm not helping him. I'm not doing this.
Right.
We can leave him at the gate.
Yeah.
He can hold the gate. You know.
He wakes up every
That's
day.
how I'm
He
role-playing
pretends
my
like he's
hatred.
on the-
Matt, I'm gonna
You're
fly
saying,
play on
George?
top of you next time.
Oh,
So Tolman struck the guy.
Doesn't sound right, does it?
Do 3 points to the body.
3 points is 3 points.
Okay.
Were you wounded?
Boris.
No, no, as you're sling wounded.
I assume so with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long does the cat spell last? Like 10 minutes?
Holy crap, you're way up there.
Yeah, I was hiding
how
up there.
it typically is, but we
I'm
tend to
a
do it-
lookout up there for
again,
anybody
how
else
we're
coming in.
typically doing it. It's more scene based for the
Why?
interpretation.
Okay. Give me a D2.
D2.
Yeah. On a 1, it expires now.
D2s are so
Okay,
weird.
so it's a coin. Those aren't very weird at all.
Yeah.
Okay. I was talking about the actual dice D2.
Yeah, that's a coin.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I think Sean's probably the same boat as me, as we've actually had that.
Yeah, they're the most common dice in the world.
Yeah. There's millions of them. Probably billions.
Anyway,
Anyways,
Oh,
so
there really is a D2 die.
yeah.
Holy shit.
it's
that
got a
looks
weird. It's got a weird shape. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's cool.
This one screeches,
Okay, you're not a dumbass.
and he is going to take off.
You're just
You get an attack.
Okay. Can I attempt to grapple him instead?
Do you have a
Strength.
shield and sword out?
Yeah, I do.
Then no.
Okay. Well, then I will attempt to attack him. And I get any bonus because he's back to me? No.
No.
Okay.
And to eat it, if he's running, I don't think he gets a defense.
No.
Or does he normally?
I don't know how we've been doing with the non-advantage, but there is a just fleeing option in the thing.
Validate that.
There's nothing on here.
I remember correctly, it's an unopposed, but I think Andy might get a benefit. I don't know.
Combat, flee, roll to hit. Moving. Fleeing. Okay, fleeing. Involuntary. Typically, if you flee, you get an attack, free attack. It is unopposed melee attack using whatever weapon skill you're using. If you're... You also get a plus 20
Okay.
because they're throwing caution to the wind. So, yeah.
So +3 instead of +1.
Yeah, so 12 points of damage to him.
that's so weird.
To the body.
Why can't I just say I'm
That
taking an
and
unopposed
extra two.
hit rather than risk being hammered harder?
Because it's a matter of how it
We don't need to discuss it now.
Yeah.
I just the logic behind this game sometimes throws me off.
it's already an unopposed hit, as opposed to normally you can take an unopposed hit just in combat. You just choose not to oppose it. This gives them an extra 20.
No.
So we kind of screwed things up by
Irrelevant.
did that. Never mind.
So that, let's see, how far was that? That was there. Okay, so he's good as far as his movement. The second one is going to strike a German.
Stupid halberds.
He swings and hits by 5.
Oh God, Sean.
Those trains escaping into existence.
55 though. Critical.
That's a crit.
So you take damage. You're going to take 9 points to your left arm.
I take one.
Okay. And then you manage to get a
Yeah.
critical against his head, which he has no armor there, so he's going to take the critical.
They don't have the helmets.
Nope, they don't have they do not have armor on the heads.
Oh.
He takes a solid blow to his face, causing blood to pour out. That's going to do 3 extra wounds.
If you press the button apply damage, you'll also damage your armor. On the chat there, apply damage.
It shouldn't damage. Oh,
He
that's
is
right.
bleeding.
apply hack.
Yep.
Stupid.
Oh,
he lets me choose.
And then he makes an endurance roll because he's got all sorts of things here.
Nice.
He fails that in a bad way.
Damn arm.
Why did he take damage?
Matt was applying the damage he did to
To me.
him.
You did damage
Apply
to me.
hack.
Yeah.
It applies hack automatically.
I applied damage and hack to me.
Oh, okay. He injured your armor because of his hack ability.
Yes.
Okay.
So he is not only bleeding, he is stunned, and he is,
Wounded more.
yeah,
And he needs surgery.
wounded a bunch. Yeah, he's gonna have a nasty scar. He's gonna cause fear if he survives the fight. Oswald.
I am going to. I'm going to drop my shield, making myself unencumbered.
Okay.
Or unencumbered 2, I'm now encumbered 1, which would give me the distance to reach him and hack the crap out of him. And
You can hear a Skaven from the southern passageway screeching. It's still somewhat muffled, but getting louder.
Okay.
Did you have to charge?
I did, so I'm going to.
That's an automatic failure, right?
Yeah, that is.
No.
96.
Yeah, but this game rolled really terrible too.
Yeah, if they roll bad, he still hurt him.
I think we're
Yeah.
doing that for skill tests.
Yeah.
Skill test. Okay.
You won.
So
still
you
got it.
hit him for 9 points on the leg, which is going to take him out. You cut his legs out from under him as he goes down.
Because like it's off.
Heinrich.
Well done. Reload. Hey, I barely reload.
Okay.
I'm done.
German.
Swing away.
Okay.
It's times like these that they start critically me with their defense. I just want to point that out. So
It's 2 on 1 plus 20 for being stunned. So plus 40.
Stun doesn't give you a bonus.
Okay.
Stun prevents them from doing anything.
So just 2 on 1.
okay. I'm glad you brought that up. So
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you fucking mauled him.
I don't think
I'm
he
taking
rolls a 1. No. But he gets a critical on you.
yeah, see,
So you're going to do plenty of points to him. 9 points, which is going to take him out. But he's going to do a damage to critical to your arm.
so I'll take the point of armor.
Okay.
Which arm is it?
Right.
Left arm. Left
Is it
arm.
left arm again?
It is your left arm.
It says primary arm.
It says,
It
on
says
my,
left arm.
It
Yeah.
says my hit location left arm on my screen.
Yes, it
That's for me.
That
That's
was from
my
his strike.
hit location.
His strike was on the secondary arm.
Oh, okay.
The critical was on the primary arm.
Okay.
Point off each arm.
You don't need that armor.
I don't think you understand how devastating this is.
Armor is not that important.
That's right.
It's
But you
leg-
need his leg arm.
That's like leg arm.
That sounds like a
Leg or.
term.
Okay, so that's going to end the combat
You dirty
as
dogs.
both of them are laying on the ground.
Will
One of them's bleeding profusely and will be dead momentarily, but functionally they're both dead. But
I'll drag the one I killed back
Okay.
over around the corner and off into the shadows and come over and pick up my shield.
okay.
I'll go stand
And
by.
I'll drag this one over next to the priest that's still catatonic.
Okay.
So
I'll go stand over here.
It'd be fun to wake
ready
up
for
to.
something to come on.
We just start
Okay.
weekend at Bernie's. And like,
You guys haul the bodies back into the shadows. Couple minutes go by. There doesn't seem to be any alarm.
Okay. I'm still keeping an eye out.
Yep.
Ear out, nose out.
Yeah.
God, I wish I
The
could
flagellant counts. Okay. 198 more. Got it.
I don't suppose we want to try the same tactic.
only if we have to.
I mean, how do we get out of that room?
Well,
There was
We
only
still have
two.
to go through the next
You
room.
guys only saw 2, right?
well, they're going to go through the next room and see if there's anything in the following.
But it is
There
it is after 10 at this point. But
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and
So
call
I
it.
was thinking just for the future. Why not just have my cats go down
Yeah, like how often can you do that?
all day long?
It's a miracle, right?
As long as Fernald wants it.
Man, Renal must be a lot more generous than Sigmar. Because, man, every
have,
time I cast, Sean would be like...
I have rerolls also.
Sigmar's a stern god.
Oh, yeah.
And I can appreciate that.
Well, the problem with the cat is it will absolutely attract attention.
A sneaky
fine.
halfling may not.
Right.
Well, the overall, most of the time, it's assumed to be sort of like how the halfling is, and it's something that gets overlooked and everything like that.
I grant
Because
that.
it's meant to be a scouting device.
Yeah, and I grant that. I mean that's an option. Although, admittedly, we go back to the previous question of well, okay, then you're scouting ahead while everybody else
yes.
is listening. So,
Until the cat comes back with more Skaven, and I kill it.
right.
Of course, this time we're not going to charge in. We're going to block off the passageway to where they can't run.
Yeah, but at this point, at the rate we're going, you're going to be completely naked.
I know.
After
And,
just
well, that's
every
every fight we
fight.
get into.
Yeah, that's
And
going to be the drawback of fighting storm vermin with halberds.
That also implies,
Every time they hit you, you're going to destroy armor.
that also implies we suffer
It's-
90 plus on every roll for the first 2 turns.
So, okay, we'll pick up in a couple of weeks then and see where you guys go, and we'll do some digging as far as options for scouting. I mean, the